red dot, baby. Recording. Yep. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. I am Sinister Sheep, and welcome back to another tier list video. Today we have a very special tier list, the One Piece tier list, and I am joined with the Gentleman Snark, part of the NerdEnt YouTube channel / Twitch channel. Say hello, Mr. Gentleman Snark, aka Leon.
What? What up? I've been a fan of this series for years, and it's
Yep.
nice to see
Yep.
that people are finally starting to see the greatness
It
that is One Piece.
you know, I just gotta actually apologize. Like, I'm going on record. This is going on. Like, I'm going on record. I have to apologize to you, Leon, because I remember back in the day what a fool I was. It's say that One Piece isn't good because it's too long and it's never gonna end. Okay, that was my whole reasoning. And really, what I was trying to say is, I don't want to watch 1,000 episodes, or I don't want to read 1,000 chapters. Then I read it because at a young age I read it like around freshman sophomore year of high school. I read up to New World and I was like, this ain't for me. I'ma just drop it. And then I started gaining interest in it. And instead of doing like the smart thing and just being like, oh, I'll read where I left off, I started the whole entire One Piece journey again. I'm so glad it did because I don't know what happened in those high school years, but I just kind of skimmed through it or something like that, and then within a year and a half ago, I started from the beginning, and my God, like this is like peak fiction. Like, there's a reason there's not an F tier on here. Is because Oda doesn't do bad arcs. He doesn't.
He just doesn't.
He
He
doesn't.
doesn't miss.
Like a D tier is like a high arc for like any other shonen. Not calling anyone else Bleach. But I'm gonna piss off the 5 Bleach fans. You know what? I can't wait for it, and I'm gonna put it on record here. I can't wait for all of a sudden, once this new Bleach anime comes out, all of a sudden people are gonna stop shit talking Bleach, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Bleach was actually really good. You guys were just really mean to it." By the same people who shit on Bleach. Okay, I'm
hmm
just in it for the fun. Like Bleach isn't anything special to me or anything. I just like it's edgier Kingdom Hearts. That's all it is.
I
But
mean, personally, if the anime does come back, I'm thinking of because I never cared for the series much. It was kind of one of those things where if I'm up late and it's on Adult Swim, I would have just been like, "All right, let me just watch this just to kill some time." But
mhm.
I don't know. I've kind of played with the idea of just reading the entire series from chapter one just to see what the hype is about because a lot of people overhype it. In
Mhm.
my opinion, they're just like, yeah, this is awesome. This is badass. Like Ichigo, this and that. I've heard a couple grapevines about Ichigo, and I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, he seems
I
ridiculously
honestly
overpowered,
he is.
but
And it's just a lot of like, I don't want to get too into it because we're discussing peak here. But like, I
mhm.
mean, if you finish reading it, we could do a Bleach thing too. But I'm kind of like, with people like going through character studies of each of the Bleach characters. I'm like, you don't need all that. Like, it's not anything that
Mhm.
deep. It's just about like, it originally it was about dudes with giant swords fighting ghosts, and then it slowly didn't turn into that at all. I will say the
Then it
thousand
turned into
year
a whole
blood
society.
the thousand year blood war arc is like the best besides that lackluster ending, but the anime is confirming that they're gonna like change it with Taito Kubo's um, permission and stuff like that. Like, he suggested the ending that he wanted to do because that shit was rushed like no other.
Mhm.
But anyways, enough about Bleach. We're not here for Bleach. We're here for One Peak. We're here for One Peak. And what else to
Yeah.
start with? I think I organized these in chronological order. I think so, at least. I did it all from memory, so I don't know. But we'll bump into it if we bump into it. So, Romance at Dawn. This is basically
Where it all started, baby.
where it all started. And we're going off. I've read the manga. I'm currently like just watching the anime just for the fuck of it. Like, if I got
and
nothing to watch,
and
I'll
to
just
see
put it
the
on.
and to see the cool fights animated.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's not beat around the bush. Yeah, that's exactly the reason why. Um, Romance of Dawn. So I think this is a great introduction, especially for Luffy. And originally, the title Romance Dawn was actually supposed to be the title of One Piece. It was like a pilot that Oda did, but then he changed it to One Piece once it became serialized. It's like a very like rough version of One Piece. Like I think it's just Luffy and Nami, but I don't even think they're called
uh
by their names or
so
something
I
like that.
actually I actually know this. Had two actually. There were two
Right.
rough versions of this. Um, in one of them, his grandfather is actually a pirate and is the one that gave him the straw hat. And I think he was saving a girl whose pet bird got captured by this witch pirate.
Mm-hmm.
That I think was probably the very first one, like the very, very first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, which they actually made an OVA with the more current crew members, where he has to go to a town and fight someone that I think his name is like Moonbeard or something like that. Forgive
Yeah.
me if I don't remember the name very well. And yeah, those are the two rough draft versions of that. Um, there are honestly they could be their own separate thing. As a matter of fact, I don't. They're both animated, but I think only the one where he fights the Moonbeat character
Mm-hmm.
actually can be considered somewhat canon because there's actually like a special episode, I think episode of Luffy perhaps,
Yeah.
where like this is up to when Brook was part of the crew
Mm-hmm.
and they were there trying to like help him out though. Though they only came in towards the end, it was still nice to see that in the more modern adaptation, see that it kind of become canon now.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a little bit of interesting history there. Um, and Romance of Dawn, I believe this contains obviously it's right before Orangetown, but it's that whole marine um, place where Luffy breaks out Zoro, and Zoro becomes an official part of the crew, and Luffy meets a recurring character who we'll see throughout the series. The what's his name? Connie? Con? The boy.
Kobe.
Kobe, that's
Kobe.
it. Kobe. Um, yes, that's right. There will be a lot of this in One Piece where a
Mm-hmm.
minor character from chapter one will appear in chapter 1,000 something. Like,
Exact. Look, because the one main complaint that people always say is that there are always too many characters. Or to write these too many characters,
mhm.
I won't care about them. He will make you care
Yeah.
about these characters. He will find a way to bring them back from like the depths. Like some characters you might have thought he killed off.
hmm
Nope, surprise, they're still alive.
Yeah, yeah. So as a first arc, I would say this is pretty good. Obviously, it's just getting the ball running, and we'll get higher and higher from here. So me personally, how we're gonna do this is I'm gonna say what I think it should be in, and Leon will say what he thinks it should be in, and then we'll see if we can meet a middle ground. But I would say like uh, low C to high D is probably because it's just the start of it. What there's a meme that goes around where it's like One Piece fan says, "Oh, One Piece gets good after like 50 chapters or something like that," and that's mostly due to like everything before. I would say either Barate or the Arlon Park uh, arc, but then everything after that is just it's hard to decipher. But what do you think Romance Dawn? Where would you like it
Okay,
placed?
so Romance Dawn. Okay, so I don't get me wrong, I do like the anime,
Mm-hmm.
but whenever I tell people who are just starting One Piece, I usually tell them to read the manga.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the main complaints that people complain about in the manga is that they don't like Oda's art for whatever reason. And I won't lie.
Mm-hmm.
I won't lie. In the beginning, the art's a little rough. Can't lie.
Yep.
The art
Yep.
is a little rough. So, judging this from a manga reader's perspective here, I like it. It's a good introduction. We immediately get introduced to a lot of key factors right off the bat. devil fruits. Like we already know that there's a power system here.
Yep.
Clearly, we know the weakness. We know the type of world we're set in. This is pirates. We're going to dealing with pirates. Our main characters are pirates. So ergo, we kind of have an anti-hero type of character, as we'll
Mm-hmm.
see as we keep going throughout all these arcs. Um, we have a character like Zoro. We see what he's all about
Mm-hmm.
to an extent. There's a lot of other like we get to their real backstories a little bit later, but right now we're kind of like assuming the crew per
we
se to get the
yeah
bit of
we
get the
get like
cast.
surface level Zaro
Mm-hmm.
backstory with like him and uh the girl he was training with and stuff like that, but that's about all we get. But it also adds like the kind of unique and zaniness of the world, that like what is a sword style, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like oh, you fight with a sword in your mouth kind of thing. And that's just like kind of like slowly introducing like the more wackiness of uh, what One Piece becomes. But anyways,
I'll
finish your
give
point.
it. I'd give it like mid C to maybe like a low B, only
Mm-hmm.
because the key thing though is that we always because me people always criticize that yeah Luffy's just kind of an idiot blah 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 blah, but the thing people understand is like so there's this trope called the call,
Mm-hmm.
right, where you get the call to adventure, like something happens, it could be traumatic or something positive that makes the character want to go out and become the adventure,
Mm-hmm.
like go out and see the world and whatnot. The thing people need to understand is Luffy did not really like again while we go through the arcs we realize that he did get a call, but when it comes to the other straw hats he is the call.
Yeah,
He literally is the call to adventure.
for that
He came
person.
up to
Yep.
Zoro and was like, join me, like join my crew. And he
Mm-hmm.
was just like, well, it beats dying here. Like he is the call. That and we also see that one key defining moment, in my opinion, during Romance Dawn was when that moment with Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe didn't want to be a pirate. He wanted to be a marine. And Luffy didn't care. He was like, yeah, follow your dreams. But Luffy knew that, oh, if Kobe keeps being associated with me, he won't be able to do his dream. So he beat the crap out of him
Yeah, yeah.
in front of all those people
Mm-hmm.
just so they were aware that no, Kobe's not a pirate, to help him become a marine. I think that was a real showing of Luffy's character, that he's not just a mindless idiot
Yep.
that people thought he was. So that's why my thing is I'm like put a mid C high B because we get that deep characterization very quickly. And a lot of people miss that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, no argument there. So I think we can move on to Orange Town. I believe this is the introduction of Nami, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think she was currently with Bucky, the Pirates, or she was affiliated in some way. I think honestly, this is one of the weaker ones. It's not too long, but the only thing that really stands out for me, and like we'll get sprinkles of this like later on. Actually, it'll become more prominent later on. Is and this is what I kind of had to learn, is that One Piece isn't necessarily about character development. Like there are Straw Hats that like after they're established in the group, they their character grows more. Just look at Sanji. Um, but it's all about the Straw Hat crew going into the place and changing the surroundings around them. Like, say the people were imprisoned and the Straw Hat crew comes in, and then all of a sudden they want to start a revolution kind of thing. Like, that's the center of what One Piece's world building is stuff. And Orange Town introduces some of that, but, you know, the only thing we get out of it is a sad dog. And that's a sad story. That dog story is terribly sad. It's not nearly the level we're going to get later on with other side characters and stuff like that. But I just feel like this one's kind of a weaker one. So I would put it in D tier. But what do you think, Leah? I mean,
Okay,
Buggy's
so
great, but I think people mistake Buggy from Orange Town from Imperial Town, because those are two different Buggies. Like, Buggy from Imperial Town is awesome, and Buggy from Orange Town is also really good, but he's not Imperial Down Buggy.
so my take on Orange Town is that yes, the dog story was sad, but we also need to understand like Nami's introduction here. I liked it in the sense of you don't really we don't get the sense that she's really part of the crew because when we first meet her, you kind of get the
She comes
she
off
could
a
be
little one dimensional, a little bit.
she's like the token femme fatale, like kind of the Mine Fujiko or the Faye Valentine. Like you don't know, like she can be a little bit duplicitous,
Hmm.
which honestly, in my opinion, having that kind of character adds a little bit of spice. Because I won't lie, this was kind of one of the weaker arcs, but again, from a story aspect, we can't forget that we get some introspection in terms of Bucky No Shanks,
Hmm.
the guy that pretty much set Luffy on his journey here.
Yep, yep.
That gives some good character right there. That gives some good weight there. I'm just like, and it also makes you kind of wonder, in a bit in terms of where Luffy can kind of stack up in the sense because now, granted, I'm talking this from an early person perspective.
Hmm.
We already know that Bucky's a joke. Let's be real. He's
Yeah,
a joke.
yeah, yeah. He's a gag
But
character,
but
but
from that perspective, we're
hmm
like, oh, he knows Shanks, and Shanks, we are alluded to. We are to think that Shanks is like what is the big time,
hmm
is the big time, which he is, as we find out later. But we through association, we think Buggy is as well.
yeah,
So that kind of makes Buggy's hype in that arc a lot higher. So
hmm
when Luffy defeats him, it's a lot more like, holy crap,
yeah, yeah.
wow, like maybe he can actually pull this off. Like, it kind of gives you that knowledge. Plus, we get to see Zoro being a badass.
Hmm.
That's always nice.
Yeah, yeah. Always, always, always good Zoro moments. He's the Vegeta of One Piece. I feel like he's just a badass, and that's why people like him is because he's just a badass. So where would you put it?
Well, not gonna lie, it's given these characterizations, I don't know if I feel comfortable putting it in the D tier only because of those things with Shanks. So I'd probably put it low C, in my opinion, like
Okay,
low C. Because again, anything that introduces a new recurring character like Nami or any of the other Straw Hats, you got to kind of put it higher there because it really sets the stage of the characters a little bit.
right. Now this is where I might get a little controversial. Syrup Village, so Usopp is now one of my top three favorite Straw Hats. Like I love Usopp and how he develops, but goddamn his intro, I like hated him to the max. He was just annoying. Uh, some of the villains are like in the beginning arcs like what the fuck even is his name? The one with the sword fingers.
Klahadore, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I think like this kind of like whole thing. I'm just like, oh, brother. Like this is the only time I really feel like the oh man, like I'm not really fucking with this so far. So I'm a strong advocate for D. It does introduce Usopp and his whole pirate dream about him wanting to be a pirate, have friends, and all that stuff. And his pirate dream or his dream has pretty much already been fulfilled. He's part of the Straw Hat crew. They're one of the most popular and infamous pirate crews um, in all of the series and stuff like that. So his dream is already kind
Mhm.
of realized. Obviously, I will like Usopp really shines for me in Water 7. Like that's where that character
Yes.
really gets his shine. But his early parts is just kind of like he's the comedic character kind of thing. You always need that, otherwise, you know, if you
Oh,
have too many serious characters, it off balances the tone.
yeah.
Um,
So
but for me,
you need like
it's
a
weak.
comic doing the straight dudes.
Yeah, yeah. But then at the same time, you have Luffy and Usopp, and they're both kind of comic characters too. You only really have Zoro and Nami as kind of trying to play it straight face. So I guess it balances all out in the end. But I don't. I just wasn't a fan of this arc personally.
Okay, so gonna be honest,
Don't say.
I will also say D tier, but
Okay.
for different reasons though.
Okay.
For different, like, don't get me wrong,
I
I
thought you were about to say
understand.
some off color shit. Like I actually think this is A tier. I'm like,
No,
don't say that.
okay,
Don't
heck
say
no. But
that.
see, the reason why I consider it D tier, because trust me, I understand people's frustration with Usopp.
Mhm.
I was there too. He gets mad annoying. That's why I'm so happy things happen in Water 7 the way they did, but we
Yeah.
will get there. Trust me, we'll get there.
Mhm.
But the reason why I consider it D tier because I don't like the villain of that arc. That
Now
villain of
he's
the arc,
very. He's the
he's
most.
a pussy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. He
he's
is.
like his whole plan, his whole plan
Hmm.
was because, oh, I wanted to be a famous pirate, but I didn't like people constantly hunting me down, so now I want a new identity. I'm like, yo, you chose
Yeah,
that life.
yeah.
You
As
chose that
on
life.
now, it gave us Michael Jackson as a One Piece villain, which I am grateful for. But besides that, I mean, there's no real noticeable character in that. Like he's just like
Like,
he's such a forgettable villain.
I just don't like his motivation. That's what really just turns me off. His
Hmm.
whole thing was like, yeah, I got scared, so I decided to just run away, and now all I'm like, bro, come on, like, come on, you could have come up with something better than that.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
come on, a better motivation than that. Like, I would have been fine if he was just like, yeah, we're just gonna kidnap this girl, kill her, and just steal all our money, and then that way I could rebuild my crew and just go off. Like, I would have
Yeah.
respected that a little bit more than, yeah, I just want to try to run away. Like, no, man,
Hmm.
no, no, it was weak. His motivations was weak. The other thing that I mean, the only thing that would make me put this arc a little bit higher than D is the fact that they finally have a full blown ship. They're not rocking them two sail like them
Yeah. Yeah.
yachts
Finally.
anymore. They got the going merry. They've got a big ship.
But that's like
That's
really the only thing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. That you
That's
really
kind
like
of
get out of the arc. But yeah. Anyways, if you want to conclude your thoughts.
other than that. There's really nothing much. Like again, Usopp, he's I won't lie, he's out of all the Straw Hats, he's probably one of the most divisive very early on. It takes a while
Hmm.
to really get behind him.
It does. I
Um,
mean, look at all the arcs up until Water 7. That's how long
mhm,
it takes for Usopp to get. I mean, he has moments in like we'll get into Alabasta, like his huge thing that like one point I was like, oh, I really like Usopp actually. Um,
mhm.
but continuing on is it's Barate, right? That's how you pronounce it, Barate, Barate.
Yeah, Baraka or
Um,
Baraka, yeah,
so this is
whatever.
the introduction of Sanji, and this was like the backstory that I was like, oh shit, because basically Sanji is part of this restaurant crew. Uh, I'm just putting it in simple terms. And the main captain there, uh, so Sanji gets stranded and then gets picked up by this chef pirate crew, and th- those two characters, the captain and Sanji, end up on a deserted island, and basically Sanji, they have like a little pile of food to fend for themselves. So at first, the captain is like, "This is all my food. You get that little scrap." So then Sanji gets a little irritated, and he's like, "Yo, fuck this guy. I'm gonna fucking kill him." And then you realize the big bag of supposed food was actually filled with rocks, and the chef had to cut off his own leg and eat it in order to keep Sanji alive, basically. And
Mhm.
that's like where it's like, bam! Like that's just such like a huge moment for like a character's backstory, and like we'll get into Arlong Park and Nami's backstory. It just makes you want to sob, but Sanji as a character, it kind of establishes why he's so loyal, at least in that arc, to the restaurant crew and stuff like that. And we get a pretty good villain. I think he's more like I'm a person to fight kind of villain. So there's not really much to him besides I'm kind of an asshole.
Him better than
Um,
last arc. I'll give him that.
yes, yeah,
I definitely like Don Krieg way better than Clawhador.
and better fights than Syrup
Yes.
Village. But for me, I mean, this is what really develops Sanji's character and stuff like that. So I would put it either upper C or maybe B. Um, but I wouldn't go to A necessarily. What are your
I
thoughts?
so this is where I gotta say, to me, high B,
Hmm.
solid A for me,
Okay.
because this, to me, in my opinion, this arc is like the culmination. In my opinion, tonally, is what sets the standards of what One Piece can be.
That's a good
Because
point.
we got Sanji, we got his backstory. Which, by the way, the mangas is better because in the anime they didn't put the whole Zeph eating his foot.
Yeah,
No, they
no,
just
they
made
didn't.
it like
They skimmed over it.
Yeah, they made it that he lost his foot during like the accident trying to like I think kick an anchor or some crap like that.
Yeah.
But in the manga, no, he ate that.
Mm-hmm.
He ate that. We get that. We get the tug on the heartstrings. We get this is where we see that because keep in mind in the manga, Zeph wasn't a good guy. He was a pirate.
No.
What how he met Sanji was he raided. He was raiding the ship that Sanji was
That's
on.
right. Yep. Yep.
He was raiding it. But this is where we kind of see that not all bad guys are evil. This is where we
Mm-hmm.
kind of get to see that.
Yeah, One Piece actually has gray characters. You wouldn't think it at face value, like just looking, oh, look at this colorful anime. But no, there's gray characters with gray morals and stuff like that, and people trying to get
Mm-hmm.
further away from their past and try to become a different person. But yeah,
I mean,
I, I,
even Zeph had this thing with his crew. It
I
was
was
just
even
like, yeah, they steal
shocked.
their
Like,
treasure, but not their food.
yeah, I was even shocked at the anime how I was just like, what, like, where's the I want to see the scene played out. And like I was like, is it a only manga scene?
Yeah,
What? Like
yeah,
why would
it
they
is.
add that out? And is this just in the
Too
four
graphic.
kids or is this in the anime too?
No,
They
no.
add
In the if you look at Funimation,
Mhm.
it's the same thing. Funimation, the
Ugh,
actual anime, they cut that part out.
the
It was too graphic.
the
It was just too graphic.
Funimation don't even get me started with that goddamn disaster. But like did they also like add Chopper earlier on in the crew? I think they skip an entire arc in the Four Kids. I think they skip Little Garden just so they could get to Drum Island. So they're like Tony Chopper
Little
merchandising.
the four kids one, they might because I know because in the four kids one, and I'll get back to Barate real quick, but just
Mhm.
to answer this. Um, in the four kids one, they always had like they say like, oh, next time on One Piece, they show like what's gonna happen next. I
Yep.
remember they showed the Little Island arc,
Hmm.
but I don't remember ever watching the four kids. So I don't.
Right.
It could be that they did not just never watch it as a kid, or
Or they
that
just
they
didn't
completely
they
skipped
didn't
that.
air it or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
so
but
it's one of those interesting things.
I will meet you at B for Barate, if that's
Because
fair
I
to
mean,
you.
we can't forget the main thing though about
Hmm.
this because we're saying like, oh, this is the introduction of Sanji.
Yeah.
This is the introduction of Mihawk. This is where we
Oh
see
right.
the
Oh,
pinnacle.
oh yeah. How could I even forget with these like, yo, I'm gonna just fight you with this tiny sword, and then
This is
fucking
where we see
Zoro's
the
like,
pinnacle.
I haven't lost, idiot. I'm gonna wipe you, and he's like, all right, kid. And then Zoro goes in and gets his like he literally like with a tiny ass sword slashes a whole fucking pirate ship in half, and it's just like,
This is where
what?
we see. This is where, like, I think this is why I say this is a culmination of what
And
One Piece of the
it's
tone.
power scaling done naturally. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
not just like, oh, his level power is da 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 da. Not to
Because
shout
it's
out
not
Dragon
even.
Ball, but yeah,
It's not even like because even the main villain of that arc, Don Krieg, even he was scared shitless of Mihawk because before he was like, yeah, we finally went to the Grand Line. For some reason, we saw this one ship and it kept
yeah,
wiping us out one by one.
hmm
We don't know how. And come to find out, it was Mihawk, and he was just like, "You guys were in my way. That
yeah,
was it. I was
yeah,
bored, and you were in
yeah.
my way."
And he'll come back later on too, and he's right now still the greatest swordsman. Uh,
Hmm.
and this is the one time Zoro loses in his terms, but the one time Zoro loses, and after that he pledges, "I will never lose again." And it's just like, oh yeah, man, you're convincing me to be a stop,
Yeah, that's you see,
stop, stop.
you see.
All right,
Like this is where we see how big the sea is. Because
yeah,
another key thing, though, another key thing to note, going back to the power scaling thing,
hmm
because in Romance of Dawn, we already know that superpowers exist in the form of devil fruits.
hmm
When Don Krieg went up to Mihawk and was just all like, "Who are you using a devil fruit power, right?"
hmm
Mihawk's like, "What devil fruit?"
yeah, yeah. What are you
Devil
talking
fruit.
about? It's like what?
So that also sets the stage that yeah, we're gonna see some just people that are just naturally super strong. They're
hmm
like not everyone's gonna have superpowers like that. They're just gonna be badass,
Yep,
just pure
yep.
badass like that. So yeah, this is why I say Barate is A tier in my honest opinion.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I agree. You convinced me to give One Piece another chance. Now you've convinced me Barate deserves that A spot. But you know what else deserves A/S is Arlon Park. This is where, if you get up to this point as like a newcomer and you're not into One Piece, like after this arc, you're just not into One Piece because Arlon Park really sets in like drama. It perfects the drama. It perfects the world building. It perfects backstories for both villagers and one of the main Straw Hat crew. We leave off right before this arc where Nami, uh, what does she steal? Does she steal a map or something? I forget what she steals, but she steals something from the Straw Hat crew and then goes back to her hometown to pay off Arlong. But little
Seals
does
off the ship and money.
yeah, but little does she know that Arlong is like, I'm still gonna keep your village enslaved. What are you fucking serious? And then we get into her backstory, and oh my god, when her foster mom, I guess you could call her. So basically, during one point in the Nami flashback, the Arlong crew come along and they're basically like, yo, everyone has to pay their wages here. Like everyone per house has to like pay their wage. Children cost this much, adults cost this much. And Nami and her sister were hiding, and their foster mom was originally just gonna pay for herself, but then the two little kids come in and she's like, wait a minute, stop. Like I have to pay you more, but I don't have enough to pay you more. I'd rather say that and die than to like than to like be lying about these two girls who I
Mm-hmm.
love so much. And then, she gets shot, and like that's pretty fucking graphic. It's like it's just some of those character moments, and like the mayor of the town, and like how the townspeople kind of hate Nami at first because she like pretty much like her main
She
goal
was a
is
sell.
to
Like
get
to her,
money.
she was a sellout.
Yeah, exactly. Her main goal was just to get money, but her inner motivations were to actually like help out, pay off Arlong, but like she didn't want to reveal that or whatever. So that's why the whole town kind of hated her for it. Um, and it's just, it's such like great, like great moments too, where like she's pushing away the Straw Hat crew. Like there's even one point where like she fakes Usopp's death just so he could get away, but on the outside look at it, and she looks like a cold bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when like after all this stress and stuff, and she's just on the ground and she starts stabbing herself near the Arlong tattoo, and she's still pushing Luffy away, but Luffy's like, we're not leaving, you're part of my crew, you're my navigator, I'm not leaving here without you. And like even like when, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but when her kind of sister is like explaining her backstory or whatever, like Luffy just walked away. He's like, I don't care about her past mistakes, like she's part of my crew, I'm going for a walk, or I'm gonna take a nap or something like that. And like once he approaches her, like I'm not leaving, and then she finally says, help me, and then the boys
Oh,
come in and pull
that I
through.
will say the anime that
Yeah.
they nailed that. The
Yep.
walk,
I,
the
I
walk,
forget
no
what he says,
words,
but he's
just no
like, let's
words.
go. And everyone's like, let's get it. Like, uh,
Like the walk.
yep.
They were just like they didn't complain. They were just like, I bet. Just the oh my
And he
gosh.
gives Nami his hat, which Shanks gave to him, which is his treasure. So, like, she really realizes then, like, oh, these people care about me. And then him destroying the map room and everything because he's like, we're moving past this. Like, he no longer owns you. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, for me, it's an S tier. I'm gushing over it. I love it so much. You know, because it's an earlier arc. If you could bat me with A tier, I'll give it to you. It's definitely high A tier for me then, if that's the case. But like, this is like where One Piece just like, if you don't like One Piece after this, you just don't like anime or manga. Like, you just like, I hate to say that you're stupid, but you're stupid.
Um. So, in my opinion, um, so I think this is D tier. No, let me stop.
Shut the
This
fuck.
is S tier. Let's be real.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Yes, yes.
Like I said that Baratier is where like One Piece kind of sets the tone of
Mm-hmm.
how they're gonna go about their like how good they can get their stories. I think that Arlong Park is when it gets to its peak,
Yep.
in my opinion. because like again, you said when she was like groveling on the ground, telling him to leave, and she was just like, "Help me." Luffy was just like,
Hmm.
"Okay."
Yeah, he's like
The
bet.
walk, the badass, the fights. Oh my god, Zoro, Zoro's development
Oh
again.
yeah. Uh huh.
Oh my, like I still remember that scene where Arlong was like beating the crap out of like
Hmm.
Sanji and Zoro because Luffy's still in the water. He grabbed Zoro, ripped off the bandages, and he was all like, "How the fuck is this man still alive?"
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
it was the fact that Zoro was still standing after the scar that he got from Mihawk in the last arc. It scared him enough. He's like, he has to die. I don't
Yeah.
know what this thing is, but it needs to die
Yeah. Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, this S tier, hands down.
Hmm.
This is no debate from me here. Clearly, it's an S tier.
Yeah.
This is One Piece at its peak, at
Unquestionable.
least during the East Blue Saga.
Yes, yes. During the East Blue Saga, this is like where it all comes down to it. And Arlong is like the first really memorable character. Uh, not Bucky. What? Or yeah, Bucky. He's like a Buggy. Sorry, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Bucky's like a reoccurring character, and he's like more of a fun character up until Imperial Down, where he actually kind of becomes a badass a little bit. Um, but like, yeah, Arlong was just like actually a threatening presence, and yeah, no, it was great. Lobetown, I believe in the manga at this point, this is like officially like I think it's like officially chapter 100 and stuff, and it's pretty much just like a
96 100.
yeah, it's pretty much just like the bridge to like out of East Blue essentially. So it's not too long, but we get introduced to Smoker, and Smoker, of course, is a badass. Um, I mean,
I actually like Smoker because
I like
it
Smoker.
see
Yeah.
the reason why I like Loketown specifically is because aside from Mihawk,
Hmm.
the Straw Hats have been kind of just sailing
Yeah.
through.
Almost
They just kind of
aimlessly.
exactly. I feel like with the introduction of Smoker,
Hmm.
it shows them that it kind of hints towards because Luffy couldn't do anything to him. He
Yeah.
could he if it wasn't
Well, we
for
we've only really seen like the Marines ever do anything in the first arc
Mhm.
with Romance Dawn, and then like Smoker is like, that guy was not shit. Like I'm the real shit. I'm gonna fucking hunt you
Exactly. And
down.
see, it makes it even worse because in the Arlong Park, we actually see the Marines
Hmm.
were siding with Arlong. So at this point, we get a bad rep. We
Yep.
get like a complete bad rep with the Marines because we're thinking they're supposed to be the good guys, but they're really the villains here.
Hmm.
But Smoker and like he looks like he's a punk. He looks like he's like he doesn't care about nobody. But like we see really clearly, especially when like a kid like dropped ice cream when bumped into him,
Yep.
he was kind enough to just like give her a coin and just be like, "Yo, go get some other ice cream," right?
Yeah.
It thus sets the stage that while not all pirates are necessarily bad or evil, not all Marines are good or but then again, not all Marines are pieces of shit. So I
Yeah.
like seeing that. It gives a good dichotomy. It
Hmm.
also was good to know that the Marines are actually a legitimate threat because until then, the Marines didn't really do much.
Hmm.
They didn't really seem to be like an actual threatening obstacle.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Smoker, we definitely see that. Oh, and Smoker wasn't even like that high on the echelon in terms of the Marines hierarchy.
Hmm.
So that shows that if someone of his caliber is giving them that hard of a time, what else do the Marines got in the
Right.
back? So
I
Logtown,
yeah.
in my opinion, it's not S tier.
It's good. Yeah,
It's
it's good for world building. I feel like
that's exactly it.
that's what it
That's
does right. So
exactly
I'm in
it.
between A and B just because like it's so short. Where like can you even really like the way One Piece works is their arcs are when they go to different locations. Like that's just how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I put it like B probably just because it's a good transition, but there's not really a whole lot besides Smoker to like grab onto with like the other pirate crew and stuff like that.
Give it a B because and this is coming from an anime point of view where there's a lot of filler things that happen in the anime that kind of give Lokutan a bit more levity.
Yeah.
Like Usopp had that duel with
Mm-hmm.
that sniper, and at first you see this is where we actually minus him beating up that one dude in Arlong. But this is where we actually see him kind of stop being that much of a coward. He's still a coward, but he's just like, no, a man has to accept the duel, and he does it, and he happens to win too.
Mm-hmm.
So putting some respect on his name for being a good sniper. So because of those few little nods there, plus I mean I want to give it A because we do get to see Dragon,
Yeah.
but at the same damn time,
But it's only for like a glimpse, pretty
exactly.
much.
So
Yeah.
I give this mid to high B
Okay.
in my opinion because you're right, fabulous for world building. It gives us a lot of things to hold on to and gives us a lot of expectations on what we can look forward to
Mm-hmm.
with the Straw Hats and the whole world in general.
Yep. Yep. Totally agree. Reverse Mountain. Is this the whale one or is that Whiskey Peak? I get the
That's
two mixed up.
actually,
I don't remember Whiskey Peak
I think
or what it's
Whiskey
associated
Peak
with.
was the bounty hunters, and Reverse Mountain. Yeah, that should have been Laboon with the whale.
Reverse Mountain. Okay, the whale is great. Laboon
Yeah.
is great, and like, oh god, like I hope Barack and him meet again. Like, oh god. And that's another thing, a side character that's so sad that he's just banging his head. It's like, the feels, the feels. Again, this one's kind of again, not a real lot of character growth, more character building. So I would put it like
Uh,
maybe C or B. I mean, Labu is like, it's so tragic. It's such a sad story, but like that's really, you know,
I also just give it a C because there's nothing much except we see that one dude. I forgot the doctor's name.
high
We just
C
see
or
him
low
go
C. What you think?
mid,
Mid. That's fair.
mid, because we do see that cool fight between Luffy and Laboon, which
Mm-hmm.
is nice and all. But other than that, it just sets up more like future. It's like one of those things like once the series ends, we're gonna see this character again. It's one of those feels
Yeah.
type of deal. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not really gonna see the real payoff of Laboon until the series is over. Um,
Mm-hmm.
though we do get a little bit more when Brook finally comes in, but we'll get to that. So yeah, I give it just it's mid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, uh, Maybe I might put it low because again, nothing much really happens.
Yeah.
Again, it's a good setup for future stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
to
I don't know.
say that it's
I
better
would.
than the buggy arc,
Yeah.
pushing it in my opinion. Maybe low. Me, I put low
Yeah.
C.
Yeah. Yeah. Whiskey Peak. I'm trying to remember. Is that the one with the fake Sanji shows up, or is that later down the line? I forget.
Fake
With
Sanji.
with the wanted posters.
Okay, so that does not happen for a while.
Oh,
You're
okay.
talking
Yeah.
about Wall. That does not
I,
happen for
I,
a while.
I I'm thinking I don't remember Whiskey Peak very well.
Whiskey Peak is where they first, if I'm
That's
remembering
not
correctly,
that's not
is where they
Barracuda
first.
Works, is it?
Huh?
Is that Barracuda Works?
Baroque Works.
Baroque
Yes,
Works,
that's when they first meet Vivi.
and that's
Yeah, it's when they all were drinking and eating
mhm.
and they laced it with like sleeping stuff to kind of
Oh,
knock
that's
them
that's
out, but
that's the
only
Zora and
Nami and
Luffy
Zoro.
fight, like
Yeah.
the one or two we ever get in the entire series.
Hmm.
I mean, for that alone, it's cool. The bounty hunters and stuff is a cool idea. I This is where we get introduced to uh, Miss Wednesday, or how do they work it? It's a number and then a
Miss All Sunday,
yeah.
and I do. Or was it Miss Wednesday? Give
I
me
don't
ones.
yeah.
I do not
If you could look it up on your end
remember.
because I'm on OBS. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean it's fun and it's gonna carry over to Alabasta or Alabasta. Um, but I mean it's fine. It's cool. I mean, again, we get a Luffy and Zoro fight, so I'm not complaining. But um, and it builds the world a little bit, teaching us about bounty hunters and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think I would put this C.
so it's Mr. 8, Mr. 9, and Miss Sunday and
Right.
Miss Wednesday.
Yep. 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 And then one of the characters will actually be a very important character in Alabasta.
Yeah, I think it was Miss Wednesday who was really BB, but
Yep.
again, we we'll get to that.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was Mr. Nine and Miss Monday, I believe. It's the exploding guy and the girl that can change her weight.
Yeah.
Um, the one thing I do like about this arc is that, well, it's cool in the moment, but from like hindsight, it makes you kind of question because this is where it sets up the next saga.
Hmm.
Basically, it's this arc sets up the next, which is the Alabasta saga, and it kind of makes you like, oh, they're going up against a warlord of the sea, and like everyone's freaking out, and like Luffy's just kind of like, who the hell are those? Who the hell are
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we kind of realize that because when we get further, we realize that East Blue was really easy mode. This is why I kind of say
Yeah.
they were kind of sailing through. But now this is where they're kind of getting a little bit into that hard mode territory
Hmm.
because now
This
they're
is
not just
where they
going
start
after like,
really getting pushback. I mean, Arlong gave them pushback, but like this is where they really are
yeah,
starting to
because
get
they weren't
pushback.
just up against a small time crew relative to theirs. Because
Yeah.
like, look at what they fought in East Blue. They fought like a clown, some washed up pirate that survived being annihilated
Literally.
barely, and one that ran away because he couldn't take the pressure.
Hmm.
Now they're dealing with all stars now, like they're dealing with an actual legit criminal organization.
Uh,
So yeah, this is not going to be an easy antagonist to deal with, even though they kind of fodderized. I believe it was Mr. Nine and Miss Monday.
hmm.
They completely like Luffy. Yeah, like, I remembered when Zoro kicked him, and like Mr. Nine was just like, "All right, I'm gonna blow you up." And you see this big explosion, and you're thinking, "Holy crap,
Yeah.
Luffy's dead." Luffy's dragging his unconscious body, like, "All right, where were we?"
Yeah. 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 So where would you put Whiskey Peak?
It's a setup thing. It's a set. Like I
Yeah.
like how they really showed that Zoro was showing off his new swords and how much of a badass he is.
Hmm.
Um,
So maybe
B,
Lobie. Yeah.
yeah, low B, low B,
Because I
because the
think
setup was
I
really
agree
nice.
with you. It does a lot of good things to set up. I just think Lobetown is like really gets you hyped up for what's coming up next. Whereas Whiskey Peak, it does kind of the same thing, but it's more there for like setting up characters and stuff for much later stuff, or
Mm.
for stuff within this saga. Whereas like Lobetown is setting up for like shit that's gonna come out way after. Um, so Little Garden, I feel like is a fun one. You know, it's got the giants and they're all fighting each other and stuff like that. Um, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. You know, it's just it's a cool arc. I like it. I'd put it like maybe low B, high C. Um,
Uh, I have
I mean,
to
this is where at least manga wise, I mean, the art
Oh, this
has
is when
been
they were
good.
up against Mr. Three.
Yeah,
So now that I know that,
but
what would you say you
the
put it?
art gets like a little better in this arc. Like it takes a noticeable like upgrade in this arc
Mhm.
from like what we've seen before. So I would say like low B, high C maybe.
Uh,
Because in the grand scheme
so
of things, it doesn't really do much. It's more like a pit stop than anything else.
it is, but we see again. This is like a kind of we see some character development here because we see how determined Zoro is because he nearly
Mm-hmm.
cut off his leg,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was OD. And I believe this is the arc where we saw Sanji actually doing some reconnaissance because he went up against that I think Vulture and Cat thing,
Mm-hmm.
but he managed to take over the communication to kind of figure out like what their enemy is all about, what Baroque Works is
That's
planning and
right.
whatnot.
Yep. Yep.
So I mean I it's tricky though because it's one of those things where this is not just a straight up fight. There was a lot more thinking involved because
Mm-hmm.
Luffy was hypnotized by that paint girl. I did like how he beat Mr. Three because Mr. Three was talking shit like, "Yeah, you're just a
Yeah.
brute. All you do is just go through with instincts, right?" And there was clones of him, and like candle wax clones of him everywhere. And like Luffy just picked the right one on his first shot. He's like, "How the hell did you find me?" He's like, "Instinct." A perfect end to that. Uh, I I'll give this a high C because
Yeah.
while the threat was real, while the threat was indeed real and all of that, I How to explain this? I don't. I just don't know. Because honestly, I vaguely remembered it. I had to literally like look back to see like what is this again? Oh, it's when they fought
Yeah,
Mystery,
like I
which
took a
is
look at
that's what I remember it for.
Reverse Mountain and Whiskey Peak. I'm like, is this where Baroque works? Is this official? Like I don't remember. Like I'm trying to think about like my manga volumes. I'm like, is this officially where it starts? Um,
Yeah, I'll give it a C only because another aspect I kind of rate these arcs is how well I remember them. Because
yeah.
if I don't remember them too well, then maybe they weren't as good compared to the other ones.
Speaking of
So I give
which,
it a C.
Drum Island. Obviously this is the introduction to Tony Chopper, the cute boy, the mascot, the reindeer, um, and that's where it about ends for me. I think I don't know why, like Oda is a great character designer. Get me wrong, it's great and all, but the villain in this, like, he was strong, but he looked mad weak. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Arlong, like the way he's designed his stuff, is very threatening and stuff like that. Where like I don't even remember the fucker's name. I just remember he ate shit, and
Wapol.
that's how he got his powers and stuff. You know, this essentially is just to go over Tony Chopper's backstory. You know, the doctor story and all that stuff. It's sad and it pulls at the heartstrings. But for me personally, I don't have a whole lot to say about it because that's all I got out of it.
So I remember it.
I
I
would put
give
this
it.
C, strong C, but maybe I'm alone in that. I don't know.
I'm not gonna give this a C. I personally no, it's higher than a C for me because
Okay.
we got we get a lot of setups because see we got two setups here that like one people know the first one, which is we get introduced to Ace by the end of this arc,
Mm-hmm.
but people forget the second one. People always forget the second one, which I didn't even know till I saw the movie version
Mm-hmm.
of Drum Island Dark, and that's like Blackbeard.
Oh, you're
Because if you
right. No,
remember,
wait, wasn't
if you
that was that
well no, because
Alabasta?
remember in the beginning of the arc when they decided to go to Drum Island because remember Nami was sick, they needed to find a doctor, right? None of the townspeople would let them in, and the reason why none of
Mm.
the townspeople would let them in because they said like pirates had come up and literally destroyed their town and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It was later revealed that that was actually Blackbeard. Blackbeard's crew came and tore that shit apart.
You're right.
And
Yeah.
Wapple,
Mm-hmm.
he dipped. He left his town people to
Yep.
fend for himself when that
Mm-hmm.
happens. He dipped.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like
I feel
because
like
of that,
that's a really good moment, but that's one part. Like Drum Island mainly is just focused about like Chopper's backstory and stuff. And while that part is awesome for me, it doesn't carry the entire arc for me. But I'm willing to put it in low B if you would accept that.
uh, well, let's see what else do we have here. Because
Let
I'm
me
not gonna
see
lie,
if I
I'm
can
also trying to
convince
think.
Jack to put Drum Island into S tier, which is not
Well, no,
gonna
hell,
happen.
okay, it's not S. Let's. It's not S. It's not S. My thing is like high B, low A. That's my thing. It's
I
not
will take a high B. I will not put it in an A. I
because
refuse.
I really do like Chopper's story. I do think it's kind of very touching and very sad how he ended up being the one to kind of
Is this the
sentence his
one
country to
also
death.
with Luffy literally climbing up a mountain, like blood and all, just like,
Yes, yes,
oh, that's a really good
yes.
moment too.
Exactly, exactly. There's
I'll keep it a
like
high
there's a
B
lot
though.
of good
I'm keeping it
moments
a high
here.
B though. Keeping it a high B. I refuse.
I mean, I'm trying to see if there's anything I can convince you, but to be honest,
Alabasta S tier.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Was that really a debate there?
Okay, good.
Yeah, like
I
S.
thought you
No,
were about
S
to
tier.
throw me a.
Dead ass. That's S tier.
I say obviously ahead of Arlong. I don't think you're gonna argue with me.
No, hell
Okay, great.
no. You are right on that.
Crocodile is such a cold motherfucker. He's so like ah.
Mm-mm.
And Vivi's story and like And this is the part where like Usopp really gets awesome for me because they have to essentially, I believe is this part, they have to essentially abandon their ship for the time being, and
Hmm.
Usopp is like, I'm not leaving our fucking ship. And then Luffy's like, I'm the captain, we're leaving. You have to like follow my orders.
Wait, whoa, whoa.
Is that
Are you
Skypiea?
sure you're not confusing that? You're sure you're not confusing that with Water Seven?
Fuck, is that Water 7? It is Water
Yes.
7. Shit.
Fake fan!
Fake
Fake
fan.
fan!
Fake fan. Fake fan. Alright.
Alright.
Disregard all of that because I'm not editing any of this shit. um,
So,
Never mind.
so
Usopp's
to
still an asshole and I hate him.
well, actually, Usopp does have a good moment
No, he
in
does. He
the
does. He does.
Alabasta, and that's when he. Okay, I can't remember the villain's name, but
Oh,
it
fake
was
name.
up
Fake
again.
name. Or fake fan. Fake fan. Fake fan. Fake fan. Don't even remember out of the 1,000 characters introduced in One Piece. Can't remember one name.
It
Fake
was the
fan. Fake
mole.
fan.
It was like the mole one. I'm about to look up Baroque
Right,
words. Fuck
yo,
this.
that's cool. Fake fan.
It was when basically when Usopp was fighting, and he
Mhm.
pretty much said that like, and this is after he got his ass beat, and he was fighting it was a tag team. It was him and Chopper versus it'd be one
Yeah.
Mr. Four and Miss Merry Christmas. She was a mall, and when they broke his nose too,
Mhm.
when they broke his nose with a bat, he literally yelled out, Luffy will be the Pirate King.
Yeah.
I think he was the first. I think he was the first ever crewmate to actually make the declaration
Mhm.
to fully say that yeah, Luffy is the one that will be the Pirate King. So
This is
for that,
also where we're introduced to Robin
yes, though
because
she does not join till after. But yes,
no, she doesn't join till after, and they don't trust her because she's part of Baroque Works, um, or the organization. I forget the name. Um,
I did
at first,
like I did like how
and she's like introduced as she
she was a
can read the
very
text
complex.
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Although I think only that aspect is revealed. We really get into her backstory, like Water 7 and shit like that. Um,
only that aspect is revealed, but we do get other like, and this is kind of piggybacking
and
off of
like
what
we're
Drum Island.
finally revealed best girl Robin, aka not Nami. Anyone who says Nami is the main girl, you know, it's okay. It's your first anime. It's fine.
Okay, but like, I'm gonna have to
Nah,
stop you right there, though. She
Robin
kind of.
is a classic. She's ooh, she's a
I mean, don't
classic.
get me wrong.
She's a classy lady.
She got that milf vibes,
And
definitely.
think
But
about the things she can do with her hands. That's all I'm putting out there. And I will not elaborate.
because this shit will get flagged real quick.
Let's just say your boy's seen a couple good uh
Cultured material.
cultured material, and she not only can duplicate hands but other features. That's all I will say.
I think we read the never mind.
That's a different tier list. That's a different tier list.
So I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's not much to really say about Alabasta here. I mean, we do get more knowledge of like the
This,
D
yeah,
in
this is
Luffy's
like
name.
the prototype to. I've only read it. I've never heard it said. The Don
Dressrosa.
Flamingo. Yeah, yeah. This is like where we see crocodiles hold on uh
The Alabasta
yeah
Island.
the Alabasta Island, and how he basically controls everything and stuff like that, and pretty much overthrew their established government and everything, and like how water is such a rare resource and stuff like that, all because of this sandy asshole. In the wise words of Anakin, he hates him because sand, it gets everywhere. Uh, but yeah,
Oh,
and the way Luffy defeats him is really cool. Where like literally he uses his blood, his own blood, to defeat Crocodile. I mean that shit is fucking dope.
uh, I mean, this is where we finally see because the reason why this is also S tier for me because well, besides the fact that Zoro cut steel, Sanji actually had a pretty awesome fight,
Mm-hmm.
and Nami, I think this was Nami's first fight too,
Mm-hmm.
which she won because she got that new climate attack weapon.
Yep.
But we definitely see that we see Luffy's growth in the sense of because like the entire time that Luffy and Crocodile are fighting, Crocodile's just like, "Do you know who I am? I'm the warlord of the sea." And Luffy's
Hmm.
straight up like, "I don't care who you are, I will surpass you and become king of the pirates."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
He
mollywops him.
he's like, I'm
I
sorry,
still
I didn't ask.
I still remember when he did Gum Gum Storm to the point where he literally made like a big crater in
Hmm.
front of the entire town.
Yep,
And you just see Crocodile just falling through the air. Everybody sees it, and the first thing they say is, "He won."
yep, yep.
Like they all knew.
Hmm. And this is no. Oh fuck! Am I getting mixed up again? Am I have? Is this early amnesia? Is this early Alzheimer's? Is it Gear introduced in this or no? I don't.
No. Fake
Fuck!
fan.
God damn it!
Fake
Such
fan.
an idiot.
We are still
I know.
way
Yeah.
away from that.
Anyways, Alabasta. it's
S
great.
tier.
S
Nothing
tier.
much really to
Now
say.
here's where
Let's.
I'm gonna get controversial. Okay, I know there are people who hate and people who love Skypiea. I do not like Skypiea at all. I feel like it
Really?
drags. It drags so. God, it's like it's like I I don't. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it just doesn't click with me. I felt like Java like was a better setup to Skypiea than Skypiea actually was. Like I think Java's actually kind of better because the way it sets it up when Luffy punches what's his name? Fuck.
Bellamy.
Yeah, like that shit was like, oh, and then nothing for me really reaches that in Skypiea. I mean, I'm gonna put these two hand in hand. Like, I don't know. I would put Java maybe B and Skypiea C. I feel like you're a Skypiea fan.
Well,
Go ahead.
okay.
Try to convince me.
So,
Can
we're in
we?
agreement with Jaya. We are
Yeah.
in
Where do you
absolute
want to
agreement with Jaya.
B? Okay. High B or low B?
Jaya,
Mid B?
I put the high B only because we get to see Blackbeard and we
Yep.
get to see one of the best speeches from Blackbeard where he
Mm-hmm.
says, "The dreams of people will never." I love that speech.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
love it. It's actually probably one of the few reasons why I cannot hate Blackbeard as a character.
yeah.
In my
Right.
honest
No matter
opinion,
what he
I
does.
can't hate him. I cannot hate him, even though he. Well, we'll get to what he's done, but
Mm.
I can't hate him as a character because of that speech because it's 100% true.
Yeah.
We also see that he actually we actually see that he's probably one of the first people that actually showed some proper respect to Luffy because now I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they fight over like which like the pie and the meat was like good and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about it though. But the reason why I say he respected Luffy is because when he's like, "What's your bounty?" Luffy was like 30 million.
Mm-hmm.
Blackbeard says like, "Yeah, you're lying. I don't believe you."
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
also.
the
Or go ahead.
reason why Blackbeard didn't believe him was he's like, yeah, he's like when he saw Luffy's updated bounty, which was 100 million, he's like, yeah, that makes sense. A person like him, your bounty had to be higher than 30 million. There was
Mm-hmm.
no way I was going to believe that. I
Mm-hmm.
loved that.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah. 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 Um. That was good. I
As
also
for
I wanted
Skypiea,
to do a little side tangent, and I love
alright.
how One Piece basically does power scaling because they do it off of like how much your bounty is and stuff like that. And my favorite thing about it is that's not even a reliable source. That's just how notorious you are and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big if you've seen any of the content where I comment on Dragon Ball, the number one thing I hate the most is fucking. Well, you can't have Goku and because the power levels like that. Like with One Piece, it's more implied about how strong a certain character is because of his notoriety and stuff like that. That's why I like the power system between that, and it's just overall very creative way of doing that. Anyways, Skypiea, try to convince me it's anything above a C.
The backstory is what I got.
The backstory is
uh,
good.
yeah, the backstory is good. Um, Luffy rings the bell, which causes his ancestor to like they actually finally get closure because they were left in shame thinking that their ancestor made that entire shit up. Like they had literally nursery rhymes
Hmm.
about the guy being a liar.
That's true. Should it have been as long as it was?
Well,
Answer
the
honestly.
the antagonist though,
I'm hearing a whole lot of going around that question,
the
Leon.
antagonist though, the
The antagonist
antagonist though
is
was
very
kind of a
good.
threat.
Or yes, he was a threat. They didn't even really beat him. Uh,
Well, Luffy was the only one that could, if we're
yeah,
being
right.
honest.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Uh,
If if I put this under Jiraiya, is that a war crime? Yes or no?
Under Jaya, um,
Can we find some common ground
yes, only
with
because
5 asterisks attached to it?
it's only because the only reason why I say you can't put it below Jaya only because Jaya, the fact that Skypiea even happened is what makes Jaya valid because Bellamy was talking hella shit. He was
You're
talking
right,
hella shit.
but I liked Jaya quite a bit.
But the very fact that Luffy was able to get up there, not even just ring the bell, the fact that he was able to get up there,
Hmm.
plus the fact that he rung the bell, just makes Bellamy look that much weak and Jaya look that much more valid.
Hmm.
Everything in Jaya is way more valid because of Skypia's existence. So no, I don't think Jaya should be below Skypea, in my opinion,
All right, all
in this
right.
tier.
But B is fine, okay? Right?
Yeah, B is fine because it did.
Yeah,
I mean, we got this is where we see Robin's first fight, but that's
that's
it.
true. Oh, my girl Robin. Do I want to put this in A now? No, that makes me a simp. Never mind. All
I
right.
mean, the only reason why I want to put Skypiea higher is the stuff that we learn later on with
Right, yeah.
Wano. That's the only
Hmm.
reason why. But
Yeah.
as it is, it's B.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Long Ring, Long Land. I feel like this was like a little side one. It was fun, but I don't know. C or D. I have no
Was this
strong opinions.
the
It's like the
was this
games and stuff like that, where like,
Oh, this is the Outback fights.
yeah, this is right before another peak arc.
So okay, so I'm gonna put this low only because don't get me wrong, I like it, it's fun, but here's the thing though, and I was like, because I remember I had a talk with one of my friends.
Hmm.
He loves the Foxy arc, he loves it, but the one reason why I put it low, and he even agreed, is that it feels like a filler arc.
Yes, yes,
It
but it's canon.
feels
Yes, that's my
exactly it's
biggest problem with
canon,
it. It feels
but
like
it
it
feels
feels
like
like this
filler.
was his way of being like, I'm preparing for Water 7, but I don't have everything quite down pat, so I'm just gonna use this arc as kind of like filler for me to like really plan out Water 7 more. So D?
Ah,
It's not bad. D doesn't mean mad. D does not mean bad. It just means it's lowest in One Piece, which is still like A or S tier.
I
I'm
mean,
arguing with the people in the comments right now.
I'd say yes to D because the thing about it is we only see Foxy again in an actual filler arc,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
the Nebulandi Islands or
Mm-hmm.
some shit like that. Yeah, that's when we see him again, and we even see him before that in like an OVA type of thing. But again, it's filler, which proves my point that
Yeah.
this feels like a filler arc,
Yeah.
but it's
It's good
canon.
filler.
So
It's good
it
filler.
is, it
It's really
is.
good. Trust me, I've both read and watched Bleach. Bleach the anime is, by the way, sucks. You want to talk about filler? You want to talk about hell Naruto filler? I would enjoy more than fucking Bleach filler because Bleach filler literally makes me want to drink bleach up.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
god damn. So this didn't even like I've seen much worse, and like this is just a fun little side adventure kind of thing until we get
However, comma,
into. Oh, okay.
I will add to this just to cap off on the Foxy arc. I will cap off on this because I saw a lot of theories because it said that
Mm-hmm.
Luffy only learned about the Outback fights because of his time when he hung out with Shanks.
Mm.
So there is a popular theory going around that when he does meet Shanks, they are going to they're going to fight in the form of an Outback fight.
Hmm.
in Outback Games, which again, it's a theory. There's no way to be proved that it's gonna happen or not. Maybe it'll happen in LDAF if
But it'd
that's
be
the way
some
we're
hella good
envisioning.
foreshadowing.
Exactly. So that's why if that does
But
become the
until it
case,
happens, I think D is a safe place.
yeah,
All
D.
right, Water
I'm not
Seven.
about that.
You're not gonna fight me on this, right?
S
Okay.
S S. Put it up there. Put it up there.
Yes,
S.
baby. Do you want to?
This it's
You
high
want to say
S.
it with me? Usopp, shoot
Usopp.
that flag down.
Like this, in my opinion, is when the Straw Hat Pirates actually become the
Yep.
Straw Hat
This is my
Pirates.
second personal favorite arc. Like like I've reread some arcs, but this is the one I constantly reread. Is Water 7
Mm-hmm.
because number one we get the boy, the metal boy, the best boy, Frankie, and his tragic backstory. That's
That
just ah.
God, that was my
It's like
God.
One Piece. Q stop making me cry for more than 5 seconds, and Water 7 will make you shed tears, no pun intended. Especially
Mm-hmm.
with Robin and her backstory, and how, like, she fell in love with books and ancient languages and stuff like that, and how that was all taken away from her. And, like,
I think
when she acts so
literally
cold toward the Straw Hats, and then finally, when she sees them all lined up, when this is Ennis Lobby, right? That's when that officially begins.
yes.
And then she says,
I
I
want
want
to
to
live.
live. And then Luffy, just a small smirk, and he's like, let's go. It's like the better version of the Arlong Park, like, Luffy help me. Like,
I
it's
mean,
it's an
honestly,
or not better, it's an evolution of that. Um,
I would go on record to say that Robbins is probably the second saddest
mm-hmm.
out of all the Straw Hats. We'll get to the saddest one later.
Oh,
His
yo
Yeah,
ho.
his is the saddest one, hands down. But we'll get there.
You
But
know, I'm not up there with the anime, but like I've looked up clips of it and stuff, and oh my god! But we'll get there when we get there. Um, but
yeah,
Water
Water
Seven,
7 S tier. Innie's Lobby,
yeah,
that is also S tier.
yeah,
There's
they're
no
kind of like I don't understand why they. I mean, I get it because technically it's a different location. Um,
Honestly, I consider them the same thing, to be honest.
Same
That's
with
my
Post
take.
Endless Lobby for me, honestly.
Yeah,
I
that too.
consider that all one giant thing.
Hmm.
And then this is the point. Let's see if I get this wrong again. No, no, it's not. No, it's not. Catching myself. No, it's not. Never mind. But um, yeah, Water Seven is just. I mean, I don't have like great matchups all around, and Usopp. Okay, here it is now. Usopp with the ship where like oh god, oh the ship, oh Jesus, not only the Usopp thing, but also the ship. Oh,
The
oh,
ship, the ship, the
oh, the
there
Mary.
basically
Ah.
basically, I'll just say this: Baratier kind of showed the potential of what One Piece can be.
Mm-hmm.
Arlong Park showed that at its peak, but the whole Water Seven saga was just Oda saying, "This is not even my final form.
Yeah, and
This is to go even further beyond."
oh, this is just gonna be peak. Like, there's no way, and we'll get into like, yes, fucking way.
Yeah, like this whole saga just proved that Oda, he's not. He will exceed expectations.
Yes,
He
every
will
single time.
continue to exceed expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because again, going back to how East Blue was them just kind of like sailing through, and then the Alabasta arc, they're kind of that's when they're actually going up against more formidable foes. But
Yep.
the thing about the Alabasta arc though is that while they won, it was a bit sloppy
Yeah.
how they won.
Yeah, there was no definitive win.
Hmm.
Like
It
they
was
like
really
barely got
sloppy.
by their teeth.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was really sloppy, and like literally, they got lucky too because Smoker and Tashigi could have captured them,
mm-hmm.
but they decided to let them go.
Yep, yep.
So yeah, it was sloppy. Emmy's lobby is where we actually see them like, okay, we're not kids anymore.
Yeah,
Especially when Zoro gave him that pep talk of like, yo, if Usopp's coming back here, he needs to be down on his knees and he needs to
yeah, he needs
apologize.
to
And I don't
beg.
care. Y'all can make fun of me.
Hmm.
When I saw how Usopp broke down,
Hmm.
was apologizing and crying, I shed some tears. I
Oh,
don't care.
absolutely. Oh. Water 7 is all about the tears. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about the tears, especially when Usopp and Luffy fight because Usopp's like, I will fix this ship. And Luffy's like, you're really bad at fixing the ship. And it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
take us any further. And they fight. And Usopp kind of I mean, I know obviously he can't hold up on his own, but he does for a little bit because he analyzes Luffy and he knows his attack patterns and stuff like that. So he's holding his own for a little bit. Obviously, he gets his ass kicked, but like that's what made me like love Usopp. I'm
Yeah,
like, this is
because
my
that
boy.
shows his potential. That
Hmm.
shows what he actually could do when he gives a shit, when he stops being a coward. And I
Yep.
love that.
And then Sniper King stuff. And it's debatable whether Luffy actually knew or not, but like, I mean,
He
he knew,
didn't.
he knew, he knew. I
Was
I
what
think
I
in his
mean,
heart he
it's
knew.
sad, but yeah, but even Chopper bought that nonsense, which I guess you
Yeah.
could give Chopper leeway because he's a kid.
Which, by the
But then again,
way,
he's a doctor. Come
in
on now.
any other media, I would be like, this is corny. Well, like, why would you do this? But, like, when the ship is breaking down and it talks to them and it says, I'm sorry, but
The Viking
I
funeral.
can't go on any further, but thank you so much for this journey. And I saw that anime and I cried. I just full blown, just tears, just down, sobbing,
Mm-hmm.
actually sobbing. Like
Mm-hmm.
Luffy yelling back, like, oh, we're gonna fuck it. And it's like, oh, ah.
Yeah, the whole Water Seven Saga, S tier, peak,
S
peak,
S S
peak,
S.
like no
And
debate.
notice the kind of pattern here is like, you know, Arlong S tier, but then that gets beat by Alabasta, and I'm just considering that with this Water 7, and then that gets beat by Water 7. Like this is going to be a
Like
continuing pattern.
yeah, like I tell you, Oda does not like he exceeds expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like Arlong Park, he's like, this is a Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Alabasta, now this is a
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 2.
Mm-hmm.
Water
Mm-hmm.
7, this is to go even further beyond.
Beyond. Yep. Yep. But
Just doesn't stop.
I so going on to our next one. I like Filler Bark quite a bit. I love Brock's backstory. That is the
The
saddest
saddest
shit
one.
I have
The
ever heard in my
saddest one.
life, and the fact that they're the crew connected to the whale, like the yo ho ho, oh brother. Oh,
It's
but not only that
oh
too.
my
Like
gosh.
I kind of like how this is really like Luffy going up against. Well, he's gone. No, this is the first warlord, right? Or no, was Croc a warlord?
Crocodile was the first.
He was the first. Okay, but
Draco Mario would be the well, he's the second one that he beat.
he's kind
Yeah.
of a weaker one. He's not the best, but he's not the worst One Piece villain. But I just like the action overall. And then at the ending is where like Thorough Bark actually like gets really good with like what's gonna happen next with the Paw Paw
Mm-hmm.
fruit guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a fraction of what Luffy is gonna has gone through this entire time to Zoro," and then he absorbs it all. And if you would like to say the line, go ahead, good sir.
Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing happened.
When Sanji's like, "Yo, bro, what the fuck happened?" It's like, oh, that's such a great, like that's a solidified character moment. Like when people think of Zoro, they think of that moment. To me, this is not S tier because again, it has some of its problems. It goes on a little bit too long, but it also introduces us to some interesting characters like the Ragdoll lady.
Me,
Um,
I give this high A,
mhm,
low S. That's my stance because this
hard agree.
good. There's some amazing moments, but it does not beat Water 7. It
Right?
does
No,
not beat Water
mm-mm,
7.
you can't even know.
Water 7 had some
that's
big ass
that's the
shoes to
reason why
fill.
I think a lot of people like I think Thriller Bark is really good, but I think where a lot of people get confused is because it's right after Water 7, people are like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Like it's a dip, but it's a little dip. I don't think it's a major dip. People
It's
treat it
not a major one.
like it's like a fucking like plane crashing. You know, it
Hmm.
no, it's not that. It's just it's a slight dip, but it's still got its good moments in there.
I also like Moria's characterization because we get to see the other aspects of pirates because we have the aspects where we get the ones that are like Klahadore, which they can't take the pressure and they want to give up because the
Mhm,
Marines won't leave them alone. But Moria, he is on the other aspect because make no mistake,
mhm,
while Brooks' backstory is tragic, let's not forget Moria had the same thing happen to him.
mhm.
He went up against Kaido
Yep.
and he had to watch them all die
Yeah.
right in
Yeah.
front of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let's not forget that. Like, this is where we see what happens to
This is
those.
where we see. I mean, we've already kind of seen it before, but this solidifies it. One Piece doesn't hold hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not afraid to go to those fucking places.
Like, people always think like they're like, yeah, it's like a happy adventure. Like, there's no tragic tragedy or anything like that. I'm like, pick up a volume and read before
Yeah.
you run your mouth,
What?
please.
What's that? What's that song you're saying? Yo ho ho yo ho. Oh, that sounds like a good song. It's not. It's a sad
It's not.
song.
It's very
It's
sad.
so fucking. And I love how this is like kind of the first Straw Hat, I believe, where like Luffy's like, "You want to join?" And it's not this whole big. Well, at least I mean, they have to capture a shadow in order for him to be part of the crew or whatever. But like,
Hmm.
he's at first he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Fuck, it was that easy." And
I mean,
my boy, a player with the pickup lines. Can I see your panties? Like, that's a good opener. That's a good opener. Obviously, I'm kidding.
but I mean, like all the stuff in this arc, at least the stuff they excel at is the backstory, the development,
Hmm.
like hell, even like not Usopp, Chopper.
Hmm.
He like to his credit, him and Nami went up against practically the clones
Hmm.
of Zoro and Sanji
Yep.
and the Doctor, and they still managed to come out on top.
Hmm.
When the entire
And the art
crew
style
ganged
actually
up to fight
changes.
against. Oh, it does.
Yeah,
It
like
does.
noticeably too, just to fit that horror aesthetic. And I think this is in the manga too, as well as the anime. But when like a zombie pops out of the ground and Luffy just looks at it and just shoves him back in the ground and walks
Uh
away,
huh.
like that shit is peak comedy. He doesn't even say anything, doesn't make like a scared face. He's just like, I'm just gonna put this there.
Like, yeah, we're just gonna put you back.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done
But
here.
what do you
Let's
think
move on
about
now.
the so I can't read that. Sabardity?
Saboti.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
this one is arguably no, not arguably. This one's S.
Yeah.
This one's S.
Yeah.
This one is S.
I would not put it over Water 7
No, but
though.
what makes this really good though is because this is where we see a definitive loss from
Yes.
the Straw Hats.
Mhm.
They lost.
Yeah.
There's no debate. Were defeated.
Yeah.
And it goes to show how much that because again, Water 7 in my opinion is when they actually stop being kids and literally start taking the pirate shit seriously.
Mhm.
But Saboti was when it showed them that okay, we have the mentality, but we don't got the strength.
Yeah.
We don't got the manpower.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
Yeah. This humbles them.
Yeah, with the swiftness. And the other thing I love about this arc is we finally get to see that there are
Sorry.
other pirates. It's not just the Straw Hats show.
Mhm.
Like we see Eustace Kid, we see Trafalgar Law, who awesome character, one of my favorites.
Mhm.
And we actually see somebody like the rookies with a higher bounty than Luffy.
Yep.
Like we actually see that now.
Mhm.
Like this arc, great setup, loved it. S tier hands down. We see the Straw Hats get humbled.
Mhm.
We see another This is the second admiral. We see
Yeah,
Aokichi like
that's the
way down.
Frozen Lake one, right? Is that when that
Yeah,
happens?
the Frozen Lake. That's when we
Yeah,
see Aokichi.
and
But
you're
this is
just
when we see
like, oh,
Kizaru.
I'm sorry. I just shit my pants. Can you repeat that panel again, sir? The man's riding on a bike. And he's just like,
Hmm.
huh, cool. He keeps riding. It looks like, wait. I'm sorry. Pump the brakes.
And like Aokichi, see Aokichi, he just arrives
Hmm.
on a bike.
Yeah.
Kizaru flies off a
Yeah,
cannonball.
yeah.
Kizaru has no. And
Yeah.
see, the thing about it, it once again shows how the Straw Hats are not ready because
Hmm.
Kizaru lands and he takes all the rookies there
Hmm.
that are also travel. He wipes the floor
Yeah.
with all of them
Hmm.
with no difficulty.
Yeah.
They were not ready.
They
They were just not
did not
ready.
get the memo. they,
They were like, yeah, we're about to get ready for the new world. Kizaru's like, no, you ain't.
Mhm.
No, you
Yeah,
ain't.
no.
I also like
The
how we get
backstory and
introduced to
stuff too
Rayleigh.
is really good. For
That too.
yeah,
Who exactly?
the
Is that
I'm so bad
the
with
mermaid?
names. I think
The
so.
mermaid? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's annoying how they had to save her twice.
yeah. That
It
definitely.
was annoying how they had to save her twice,
But that's
but
really the only kind of.
yeah, that's really it. Cause
Yeah.
like everything else that happens here, like Rayleigh, come on now,
Hmm.
Rayleigh alone is what makes this arc S tier
Hmm.
in my opinion. Because him just he shows up and knocks everybody out.
Yeah.
Like the intimidation on this man, he's just all like, okay, well, I think I understand what's going on here. Let me
Yeah.
just knock out the fodder real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm Rayleigh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like we pretty much said. I mean, this is just a fucking banger arc. Amazon Lily. I think it's only like 4 chapters. But we get introduced to Hancock, and she's pretty good.
Got it going on.
And we get
Amazon.
confirmed that yes, it does stretch. No, I will not elaborate. We get
Oh
confirmation
gosh,
from Oda that yes, it does.
that
No,
I
I will not
remember.
elaborate.
I remember watching that in the anime, and
Hmm.
I was dying of laughter.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
I mean, we get
Oh,
introduced to Hancock, but besides that, it's a fun little thing. I don't know.
it's fun, but
I put it
um, it's also
B.
kind of what's funny about it is the art, like the whole One Piece thing could have ended right there
Hmm.
had Hancock decided to fight.
Oh yeah,
Because Luffy beat the sisters, and he went up to Hancock like, "Hey, do you want to fight?" She's like, "Nah, I don't feel like it today."
yeah.
And like I thought,
And the
like
fact
at the
like,
time,
she's like, oh, you should be like charmed by me, like what the hell? And Luffy's just like, oh, what? Like I'm asexual as hell. What the fuck? And then she's like, oh, I'm madly in love with you now because you don't want me.
I mean, she's the Chi Chi. If we're being honest, if we're
Yeah,
comparing it to
it's
Dragon
true.
Ball,
It's
she's
true.
the Chi
It's true. Um,
Chi. It's fun.
I put a
I give it a high B between an A or so because the backstory of Hancock and her sisters is actually really interesting to notice that because technically she's royalty,
yeah.
technically, and a warlord, but
You
yet
know
she used to be
what?
a slave.
I'm looking at this now. Even though I don't personally agree, I don't think Skypea and Amazon Lily should be on the same thing. So I will bump Skypea to A. I'll be fair. I'll be fair. It
Yeah,
just
because a
didn't.
lot
It
more.
honestly didn't look right to me. I'm like
Mm-mm,
that doesn't
it
seem
doesn't.
right.
Um, so yeah, Amazon Lee, it's a fun mini adventure. The thing I did like about it though, one character defining thing is that Luffy did acknowledge that he wasn't strong enough. And he
Hmm.
did a funny thing where he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try to go all the way to the island by walking on my hands to get stronger,"
Hmm.
which it was played off more as a gag, but if you really look at it, it's kind of those one of those introspective things where it's also the first time, I think one of the first times we see Luffy with a thought bubble
Hmm.
in the manga because Oda even said himself that he doesn't really draw Luffy thinking because
Yeah.
Luffy doesn't really do much thinking.
No. um,
So
but then we get
it's again,
impelled
it's just
down. Oh, sorry. Did you want to conclude or?
no.
Okay.
Impel down now.
I think it's an S. I really like
Yeah,
it.
it's the tricky part. It's tricky. Oh, it's so tricky.
For
It's
me,
one of
this
those
is
things where
okay.
it's S or A. To me,
Yeah,
it's an S or an A. I'm leaning towards S
yeah,
because
you are.
so much
Yeah.
happens.
To me, okay. So Marine Fort, obviously, the war that goes on there. That's like the big event. But Impel Down is like our time
It
to
kicks
like
it off.
it kicks
Like
it off, number one, but it also like makes us like nostalgic for all the other characters we've seen past this point and seen like where some of the villains are, and some of the villains actually help out. aka the what's his name, the
Buggy, Mr. Three. We
Mr.
see him
3,
again.
and the Swan, what's his name, the like gender
Bon Clay,
neutral, yeah. Oh,
Bon Clay,
Bon
Mr.
Clay has an
Two.
awesome fucking
Oh, and a
fight.
crocodile. We see him again.
Yep. So like Impel Down for me is like reminiscing about everything that's come before we get into the major shit that's Marine Ford. For me, this is probably, do I want to put it above Water 7? I don't know.
Oh, if we're going like that, no. Okay, I will not put it above Water 7 only because while this is good, if we're gonna be real,
It's mostly just focused
Impel
on Luffy.
and Impel Down is just kind of a battle royale in a sense.
Yeah.
Like not to the degree of Marine Ford because we'll get to that.
But it does it really well.
It does.
I mean, we're
It
arguing over S
does.
tier stuff, which should just go to show that like this is
Impel
like,
Down. I'm. It's S. I'm sorry. It's.
yeah, it
I
is
tried to see
S.
if it would be A, but too many things happen. Plus, we see Blackbeard
Yep.
up to no good. And keep in mind, Blackbeard set this whole thing up. He put these whole events in motion because he's
Mm-hmm.
the one that caught Ace and gave him to the Marines so he could become a warlord, get
Mm-hmm.
access to the prison, and we'll see in the next arc what he does with that. But
Yeah. Are you okay
anyways,
where Impel Down is, or do you think don't say lower? but but go ahead, speak your mind, but don't fucking say it.
above. Okay, so it's definitely above Arlong and Alabasta, above
Right.
Saboti. Actually, yes, it is above
Mm.
Saboti because Luffy still he loses a fight.
Yeah.
He does lose the fight,
Mm-hmm.
but it shows his personality in terms of he's gonna come back and win the war type
Mm-hmm.
of deal. So, yes, it is better than Saboti. I'll give it that. It definitely
All
is.
right.
Magellan was a really good villain too. I did
Mm-hmm.
enjoy him.
All right. Marine Ford.
Okay, if we
We
okay,
thinking
right
the
off the
same
bat,
thing, right?
if we're giving Impel Down in
Yeah.
S, we gotta give Marine Ford an S. That's
I
just
think, I don't know, just event wise and everything. I think I love Water 7. I want to get that right out of the way. But Marine Ford has so many like crowd cheering moments and an actual death that's permanent, and it's like nothing we've seen before.
just do it.
Okay. All right. I'm glad I don't have to
Just do
justify.
it.
I was real afraid I had to because I'm not very good at arguing, as you could tell by this whole tier list where I fall hard for Skype. I'm like, I'll bump it up to A. But
It's like
Marine Ford is
it's literally
honestly,
like, the
it could have
only
ended.
flaw.
It could have ended
only
right there,
flaw.
really. But he decided, nah, I'm gonna one up myself. Fuck that.
The only flaw I will give Marine Ford, and it's a personal critique,
Mhm.
and that's the other Straw Hats should have been there.
Yeah, that's
They
ugh.
should have been there.
Mhm.
That's my one and maybe my only real critique.
Yeah.
They should have been there.
But at
But
the
at the
same
same
time,
damn time,
yeah, okay.
they would have been annihilated.
Yeah, they weren't there yet. This is not time skip yet, right? That's return to.
No, it's
No,
not.
yeah.
Like Luffy only got by because Whitebeard supported him.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
it.
and when Whitebeard dies, but he dies standing.
He He's
Ah.
just like, he's
He's
like,
like, "Oh, I'll
you're not.
die.
He's like,
I'm fine. I've
I
accepted
love
this."
how when he was about to die standing, he literally told Blackbeard, he's like, "You are not that guy, bruh.
Yeah.
You are not that guy.
Yeah. Not
Like,
today.
I've spoken to
Not
Roger,
today.
but you are not that guy."
And then we have Ace, untimely death.
Okay, so Ace, I don't him. Okay, I'm mad. I was mad. I remember because when
Yeah,
I
of
was
course,
reading
because
this,
you want to see more
I
of him.
literally thought that Ace was gonna live. I was
Yeah.
like you set this whole thing up. There's no way Ace is gonna die. He has to live.
Mm-hmm.
And Oda was like, "Gotcha, bitch."
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch. Like, he's dead. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Come
Actually,
on.
really, really. Like, I remember reading, I'm like, nah, there's not. Like, I knew he died, but I'm like, but he's not. Like, and I kept reading, I'm like, ew, I mean, oh. And
Like
the fact
that.
that Shanks was the one to be like, all right, guys, let's calm it down.
Enough.
Yeah.
He's like, nah,
I'm like, and
enough.
Luffy should have been like right to him if he was there. He should have been like, you could have came earlier. What took
I
you so
like
fucking
see,
long?
I like that Shanks. It's not that just Shanks came. I like when he came because
Mm-hmm.
the other
Pause.
thing about it is, well, here's the thing. Well, okay, yeah, pause that. But we did gloss over this in the whole Water 7 thing, but
Yep.
Kobe's back.
Oh
Kobe's
yeah,
back.
yeah. Kobe makes a return.
Kobe, he had a brief fight with Luffy. Him and Helmeppo had a brief fight with Luffy and Zoro, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously they were outclassed.
Yep.
Like Luffy and Zoro are way above their level. We get an unexpected rematch
Yeah.
in Marineford, and once again, Luffy just one shots him.
Oh
But
yeah.
let's be real, Luffy has been fighting way stronger people than Kobe's been dealing with. But the thing I like about this arc, the real defining moment, is people think that Shanks was the one that stopped the war, and he was.
Mm-hmm.
But he was not the real one to cause the complaint. It was Kobe
Yeah.
who walked up to Akainu knowing he was going to die
Mm-hmm.
and said, "Can we stop? Like,
Yeah.
please? We already killed Whitebeard. We already killed Ace. We have people on our side that are dying.
Mm-hmm.
We could save them if we just stop this war right now."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and Akainu was like, "Well, a soldier that's not going to fight has no purpose on the battlefield."
Mm-hmm.
And Shanks was just like, not today. Not today.
Yeah.
This
No.
ends
No. It's
now.
done. It's done. It's done. It's done.
It's done.
Yeah. No.
It's over.
This is just the culmination of everything. It's like pretty much right before New World and stuff like that, and it's just like, oh, it's so satisfying. Um, but post-war, I believe this includes the origin story of Luffy, Ace, and what's Sabo?
Sabo.
Sabo.
Yes.
Yeah, which also fucking sad. Fucking, uh,
It's sad,
I-
but it's the reason why. But his character, Sabo's character, is alone. I'm just gonna tease this to you now,
Sure.
in case you want to fight me about it. But this is the reason why a certain arc is going to be rated higher than I
Yep.
probably should.
Right.
But
Right.
I'll explain myself later. But
Yeah. Yeah.
that backstory, oh my
I don't
gosh!
know. Would you put this along with Marineford? Because it's pretty like, or would you rank this lower? Because I don't. It's really good though. Like, I don't know why it's just not part of Marineford.
I don't know.
It's our video. Fuck it. It's part of this. It's the same thing. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. Cause cause in that one it's showing Oda's a good storyteller. Because in that one it's not about because okay, let me calm down. I get a little excited here. Calm down.
You gotta calm down. Stick it in your pants.
All right. So the thing about this arc is the thing about the post-war thing was showing the whole backstory. Here's the thing: we didn't need it. That's the part about it. We didn't need it,
Yeah.
but we still needed it.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because many would argue that this is the backstory you should have gotten before Ace died.
Mm-hmm.
But it still was necessary. I don't know how to explain.
I feel it was
still
necessary to do it afterwards, just so we cared about Ace, but now we really felt the gut punch that his
Because
death caused.
now we know that it's not just one brother that Luffy lost. It was two,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Right. But
So now we really understand Luffy's pain. Like we really understand why he's going berserk right there,
yeah.
which only makes it that much more satisfying when Jinbei is the one to be like, "Yo, I get you're in pain,
Hmm.
but don't focus on what you've lost.
Yeah.
Think about what you still have."
Hmm.
And the anime did this so beautifully.
Yeah.
When you literally see just Luffy counting down on his fingers that he still has his crew and him just crying,
Hmm.
realizing that he still has something to protect. He still has people he needs to fight for. Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Mwah.
Chef's kiss.
Return to I can't pronounce that again. This is where the crew disappears, right?
Uh,
Or is that before? No.
Saboti is when they disappeared because of Kuma
That's
blasting
right.
them all
Yep,
over.
yep. Return to
This is
Sabi is when
when
they all come back.
they reunite. Let's don't get me wrong, it's phenomenal, but I
Yeah.
would not call it S only because
No, 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 no.
it's what you'd expect. It's literally all of them showing off how strong they are and what they've learned in that time period.
It's
It's what you'd expect.
yeah, it's kind of like what we said about Lobetown a little bit. It's just there to be
Hmm.
like, all right, we're gonna get into the new world. Here's some stuff we gotta set up. We gotta set up where everyone is, their redesigns and everything. Uh,
Hmm.
so I don't know where you want to put this. I would
A or
say,
B, A or B for me.
yeah. I don't know. Again, I'll put it right next to Lobetown because it basically does the same thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It's the same thing.
That's another thing about One Piece you notice is like a lot of arcs not necessarily repeat themselves, but are an evolution of themselves, and that's like similar
Yeah,
to Love Town.
it's very prevalent in post time skip as well because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the arcs, as we're going to get to, they kind of mirror old arcs. I
Yeah.
think maybe like one arc in post time skip is like I would say is its own thing, completely separate,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about it.
Yeah, because a
But
lot of
yeah,
these are just like yeah, kind of what you're saying, but like in the new world, so they have to face new challenges and stuff like that. Fisherman Island, I love that
okay,
punch. That's a good punch.
I'm
If you know what I'm talking
I'm
about.
gonna get a lot of flack for this,
Mm-hmm.
but my complaint with Fishman Island arc is your same complaint about Skypiea.
Yeah.
It is too damn
No,
long,
I agree.
bruh.
I agree. I agree. Um, it's too damn long. That punch is satisfying as fuck, but that doesn't justify a whole entire fucking arc. I'm not insane. Um, I don't know. I put it
So
like be like again. This is like the arc that made me drop One Piece to begin with, like the starting of New World, and I was like, maybe I should take a rest for a little bit. So
uh,
I don't think
I
too highly of it. I think high C, low B, maybe, but
well,
I don't know.
yeah, I agree with a B. I agree with
Yeah,
giving it a B because again, while it is too long, we can't deny that there were some great moments
that's it right
like the punch,
here.
Red Hawk, Jimbei, like being able to join the crew. Because like, yeah, he eventually joins it in later arcs, but it's really this arc where Luffy gives him the invitation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. It also did some good world building drop because that's when we realized that Akainu is the fleet admiral,
Yeah,
which gasp.
yeah, yep, yep. Um,
So yeah, I agree with B tier on that.
Punk Hazard, he was cool.
Okay, so Punk Hazard is the arc I was saying that I think out of all the arcs in post time skip, this
Hmm.
one stands out as being original, that
Yeah,
it's its own. Um,
I don't know.
so
It's right
A,
before, in my opinion, an S tier arc.
you consider Punk Hazard S tier?
No, 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 no. I say this one comes right before an S tier arc.
Yeah, so I'd call this A because we
Yeah,
see Law again. We see Law
yeah,
again. We see
yeah. You're right. You're right. I love Law.
Smoker again,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Hmm.
We see Smoker and Law fight, and honestly, this is kind of where this is where we kind of because remember in Logtown how I say Luffy can't really do shit against Smoker. Yeah,
Hmm.
in this Punk Hazard pretty much confirmed that Luffy now can pretty much take Smoker
Yeah.
without much difficulty.
Hmm.
And if you aren't convinced by that arc, convinced of that by this arc, you'll be convinced by the next arc that Luffy
Right.
is above Smoker at this point.
So we can agree the next arc is S tier, right?
So we agree. What?
The dear, fuck, I can't pronounce it. The Doflamingo
Dressrosa?
arc. Yeah.
Yeah, Dressrosa S tier.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
Okay. All right.
I mean, yes.
You know, I
Um,
gotta test the waters. uh.
Look, before, okay, because here's the thing. Before, I would never really consider this S tier if it wasn't for the Sabo reveal. I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
blunt right there
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I always say that this is literally just the Alabasta arc,
Mm-hmm.
except going back to what I said before. This is now the Straw Hats, they are mentally and physically pirates.
Yeah.
They have the backing now. They are like official. They are valid now,
Mm-hmm.
very valid, which means now their organization is not as sloppy. Granted, there are some stuff that get by with a little bit of luck, like the whole thing with Usopp. We can't deny that.
Right.
But also hinting that Usopp might have observation hacking now. Come on now. We
I
can't let that slide.
I would say this is probably for me personally. This is below Impel Down. I don't think it goes higher than Water 7. So, which means for me, it doesn't go above Marineford. Uh,
No, it
I don't
doesn't.
know how you
It
feel.
absolutely doesn't. It does not go above Water 7 because while there are some good emotional moments, again, there's a reason why I say the Saba reveal is what makes it S tier for me
Mm-hmm.
because without it, the Doflamingo's crew is kind of a joke.
No, they are.
Like,
They are. Doflamingo himself is a badass, and I love him, and I love his
mm-hmm.
drip. But
His
he's to me
crew,
what carries the whole
yeah,
thing, and like his
mm-hmm.
influence between or with law and stuff like that really carries it for me. Um, but yeah, I do agree. It's basically Alabasta, but like again, an evolution of Alabasta. That's it's gonna be a repeated
Oh,
theme here,
it's
folks.
an evolution in some aspects,
But
but in
it
terms
does
of
feel the
crew
most copy
fights,
paste
yes,
out of all of them.
yes,
It does feel. That's
yes,
not to say it's bad that it does that, but
because they're fourth.
yeah, yeah. But you know, it's very noticeable. So moving on to our next one. This one I just felt was too short. Like I kind of wanted to spend a little bit more time in it. Um,
So
yeah. Like I feel like we go straight to Whole Cake Island. Um, because I mean, the previous arc was pretty fucking one kind of long and two like took a toll on the crew, whereas this one was just kind of like establishing Carrot
mm-hmm.
and like uh you know the 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 much more friendlier chimeras if you get the full metal
Yeah.
alchemist
Mhm.
Edward.
Yeah. Zoe is just
Did you hear what I said?
Zoe. Yeah, Edward.
Edward.
You're
Want to
mean.
play? I'm sorry. Go on.
Zoe is, yeah, you're right. It's very short. I put this in C tier
Mm-hmm. I feel like
personally.
if it was more of a bigger arc and had more of a plan behind it, it would be better. But uh, it just ends too quickly. Like it
I
establishes
mean,
a new part of
there's
the world,
nothing.
but there's
Yeah,
nothing really else there.
it's just the meeting of allies. That's really
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just meeting of
And the
allies. That's it. I mean,
what's the
even the
lion dude? The lion dude's badass.
Nekomamushi.
Yeah, Nekomamushi's pretty cool. I like him.
Yeah, Nekomamushi and Inuarashi, they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Even the guy that they fought, the Jack, the guy who's like part of Kaido's crew, you don't see much of him either. Like, I don't even think the Straw Hats fight him in that arc. Like, what happens is he tries to go after Doflamingo
Mm-hmm.
after the Dressrosa arc, but he gets bodied because nobody told him that Sengoku and Fujitora were on the same ship.
Yeah,
But moving on.
yeah. Moving on, Whole Cake Island. I really like this one because like Sanji was like at that point, you know, past Usopp becoming the Sniper King and then turning into my top three. Him and Chopper were pretty much tied for me for like I'm like, it's not that I hate them, but they're just my least favorite Straw Hats. But then Whole Cake
Mhm.
Island happened, and I was like, holy shit, Tanchi in my top 3 or 5. Like, oh my, top 5. All right, let's not get
So,
too excited, but top 5.
so, I'm gonna be a bit controversial with my opinions here.
Oh boy.
When Oda said that this would be the year of Sanji, here the whole Cake Island arc,
Mm-hmm.
I had a problem.
Yeah.
Not with that he decided to make this the year of Sanji. I'm okay with that. I had a problem with this arc in the sense of it doesn't do much for Sanji in terms of make him look better. It just gives him more characterization and shows up more of his backstory, which is fine. I have no problem with that.
Mm.
But like, let's be honest. In all of Whole Cake Island, name name something extremely badass that happened. And I promise you that the first thing you're gonna think about is Luffy and his
God damn it.
shenanigans before you think of Sanji.
God damn it. Man, I was just about to say the Luffy train scene. You fucking
Exactly,
asshole.
exactly.
No,
That's
but
my
he was like
point.
brought up in like an abusive household. You don't feel bad for him at all about how his
No,
father's a
I get
gigantic,
that.
huge
I do.
douche. And then we get
I
introduced to the fat bitch. What's her name? And like all
Big
her
Mom.
children. And that fucked up bitch that fucked my boy up. That was like, I'm gonna marry you. I'm gonna marry you. Psych. I'm an evil 3-eyed bitch. Like, I hate her. She's the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah, pudding.
Again, like when I first read it, I was like, "Oh, this is S. This is S." Now I don't think it's S, but I think it's A for me, honestly.
Give it the A thing. It's just that from person, because I also am a bit of a Sanji fan.
Hmm.
Not more than Zoro or Luffy, not anymore at least, because he's too much of a simp in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm just a little disappointed that in this arc we didn't get to see too much of Sanji actually doing stuff. Like he did do stuff, but not enough for my personal thing.
Hmm.
We mostly saw Luffy do a lot of the stuff here, which I get it. He's the main character, but you call this the year of Sanji, and I don't know. It didn't sit right with me. Just
No.
that's it.
No. Yeah. No. I totally agree. Um. Then we have Reverie. Now this one's
Reverie.
another. This one's just a lore dump for me, but it's a very
Um,
interesting lore dump.
it's interesting and it's also important. We actually know that there is a legitimate king of the world government.
Hmm.
Which let's be honest, we never knew that till now.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is just
so
Oda saying like, you don't know this. Like you think you know, but you don't really know.
yeah,
Then again,
I
I don't
like
know if
it.
this was foreshadowed at all. Like it felt kind of like, wait, what the fuck, kind of thing.
No, no. This, to my
I
knowledge,
don't
no.
recollect. Again, someone would have to go through all 1,051
No,
chapters.
I probably would look up a video to see if somebody else has found it. But like the best way that people might say was hinted at is if like they saw maybe like, oh, in the picture of the world government we see like one big circle, but
Yeah,
we don't
some
see like
some bullshit like that.
minor shit like that that no, not even I would really pick
Mhm.
up on if we're being
But then
honest.
we get introduced to the cubes. I think they're called the red cubes or whatever. Like the things that
Oh, the
Robin
red
reads.
poneglyphs.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
and
red
those
poneglyphs.
are interesting. Those are like a very interesting part of the new world.
We got introduced to those in the Whole Cake Island arc, which side tangent. Another reason why I like that arc,
Hmm.
why I really do like it though, is that it kind of gives me the Ocean's 11 heist type of vibe,
Yeah.
which I love heist. I love a good heist movie. So that's
Hmm.
another reason why, despite the whole Year of Sanji thing, it does make up for it with that. Plus, the
I don't know
fight
why I
between
find
Luffy
that
and
so funny.
Katakuri
Year
is
of
good.
Sanji. It's the year of Sanji.
The Year of Three.
But for this one again, it feels like Lobetown, kind of like this is just an expo dump. Like nothing real. Like this is just to tell you like, hey, there's more to come. Um, so I don't know. I would put that kind of in that field because it like
I'd
it's barely
put it
it's
in
barely even really an arc.
Yeah, I'd put it in C. Honestly, it's.
Yeah,
I mean, the interesting thing though is how the one interesting thing they come from though is that they abolished the warlord system, which
yeah, that was
I'm
kind
kind of
of
happy that
cool.
a certain arc has ended, so we can kind of see what became of that. I
Hmm.
really want to know, but yeah, this Reverie, C.
Okay,
It's just the lore dump, which nothing wrong with. You need lore dumps in world building, but
yeah,
again, it is what it is.
all right. Now we get to the most recent one, which is
S
going to conclude very soon. Okay, thank God. All right, cool, 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 cool,
S
cool, 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 cool,
S
cool.
S bro S
It's very long, but god damn it, is it worth
spoilers.
it? Yeah, spoilers from
Spoilers.
this point.
Do yourself a
Spoilers.
favor. If you have not caught up on the manga or anything like that, get off this video
Yeah,
and
it doesn't matter
just binge
if
it.
you're on the anime. Like we are all caught up. Me and Leon are both caught the fuck up.
Yeah, the arc ended in the manga. I'll just leave it at
Yeah.
that. So last chance.
Yep.
Spoilers. Get the hell up out of here.
Yeah. This is a toughie for me. I mean, I don't. It's like it's really peak. I want to. Do I want to put it above Marineford though? I don't know. I don't know if it's just recency bias, but like, goddamn, do I love Wano?
See, that's the see. This
It's like the
this
Batman for me, right? Because I was really hype over it. I'm like, this is a 9 out of 10 movie, and then upon rethinking about it, watching it, I'm like, it it's a solid 8. Like it's a great Batman movie, but like when I first finished it, I was like, oh shit. That's what I'm feeling about Wano right now because it's so recent and getting caught up and everything that's happened. Like,
I mean, it's S because well, let's be real, Gear 5.
yeah,
Though I won't lie, when Gear 5 was first introduced, I was concerned.
I remember
I was
texting you. I remember having this conversation. I'm like, is this gonna be a common thing? Cause like this shit is overpowered as fuck.
See, the thing that made me, it's not even just how that. What made
Hmm.
me concerned is because I think they were going, I thought they were going to go with the Naruto route in
Hmm.
terms of, oh, Luffy's the reincarnation of Joy Boy. And I'm like,
Oh
don't
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
that,
That would have
please.
really tempered. Really
Yeah,
fucked
it
with
would have.
everything. Yeah.
I was so afraid. I was like, please don't do that. Please, for the love
Hmm.
of God, don't do that.
Hmm.
Thankfully, they did not.
Yeah.
They did not. He is still just Luffy.
He's still the Monkey D. Luffy we know and love.
Thank God. Cause oh my God. Cause I was like, don't do no profit. I was like, cause the thing I love about One Piece is that
Hmm.
it's a guy who's finding his dream. No prophecy bullshit. No none of that. He's just trying to follow his dream. That's it. He's not the chosen one. He's none of that. He's just a guy that loves going on adventures.
Yep.
That's what I love about this dang story.
Yes.
That's really what I love about it. So
Yeah.
if they added the whole prophecy gimmick,
That would
it would have severely
sucked.
tanked it
It
for
would
me.
have sucked. Yeah. I would have hated it because I'm a fan of like the one Destiny hero when it's subverted. Like, but if
Hmm.
it's not and it's literally just what it is, then I'm like, oh, this is so. Uh, you
Yeah,
know,
I'm just like, oh, he's the chosen
for
one. But
Wano, for me, although Water 7 is my personal favorite, I think I don't know if this is dangerous. I think it's above Water 7, but just below Marineford.
ooh,
I think it's too
that's
recent. I honestly think we're gonna look back in 3 or 4 months, but I could be wrong. We could look back 3 or 4 months and be like, "No, this was goaded. This was goaded."
see.
I'm being
Here's the thing.
precautious because part of me just wants to put it like just at the front of the S tier and be like, "This is the best, 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 best."
See,
But
my
now I
thing
want
with
to.
the thing with Wano is, and this is going by what you said that this is an evolution. Wano is an evolution of Marineford. Let's
Hmm.
be honest.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like that's what it is.
Hmm.
Right down to the emperors being dying.
Yeah.
Because yes, and I said emperors because yeah, Big
Hmm.
Mom's gone too.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's gone too.
And the anime
Courtesy of Kid in
actually
Law.
like depicted that pretty well. Like with I think it was episode 1000 or whatever. Like Toei actually, on rare occasion, Toei does have good animation quality control. And then it
Mhm.
just gets right back to PowerPoint presentation. But but no, yeah, Wano is just it's yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely a evolution of Marine Ford. Um, I don't know. Maybe we'll look back at this and be like, nah.
I
But
will
like, I don't know. As
not.
of right now, how it's ended, especially. I mean, come on.
I agree. I absolutely agree that this is better than Water 7. I absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, yeah,
I
one
100%
hundred percent.
agree with
There's
that.
not a doubt in my mind.
Whether or not it's better than Marineford, I agree with you in the sense of we need to wait a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with that. Because my knee jerk reaction is kind of like, well, look what happened, look what we've done. But then
Yeah.
when I think about it, there's a lot of things that need to be discussed
Like
because
pacing for number one, because this shit took
and
2 fucking years. I read it all at
and
one because I came late into the game, but
mhm. And another thing is that shit with Sanji. I think
mm,
that's an ass pull. I think that what happened to Sanji is an ass pull. Cause I
yeah.
tried to get behind it. I really did. But when I spoke to a few of my friends that also be reading One Piece and whatnot,
Mm,
we all come to the conclusion that that's kind of an ass pull. Him suddenly unlocking his genes, like to
yeah.
like be indestructible. That's
Yeah.
kind of an ass pull.
But it's
Like
cool.
it is, but in my opinion, that would have made more sense for that to happen in Whole Cake Island.
hmm
Why didn't it happen there?
Yeah, no, no, you're right. You are right. Yeah.
So yeah, like and that's not the only moment that happens in Wano that kind of makes you go like, wait, really, word? Like there's a couple of moments that make you kind of want to go that way. So yes, it's better than Water 7, but is it better than Marineford? I agree. We need to wait. We need to
Yeah.
wait on that. We need to wait till all the chapters out so we can get a full in-depth analysis. Because
hmm
maybe I'm thinking maybe one day I'll go back and reread it from the beginning, like Wano arc from its
That's
beginning to
that's
its
what I've been
end.
thinking too. I mean, hell, we have a whole month off now, so
Yeah. So that's why I'm just like, yeah, this is we need to we need to seriously consider and think about what's happened here because another thing though is Kid, we see Kid again
hmm
and his stuff with Killer is interesting, but while it was awesome that he was the one to deliver the final blow to Big Mom with the
yep,
railgun,
yep.
part of me is just like I wanted him to do more. And I don't feel like he did enough in my opinion. I could be
No,
wrong.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Like I feel like he should have done more
hmm
in this arc. Not gonna lie, because I'm like he has Conqueror's hockey too. Why didn't he not think to do something similar to what maybe Luffy is doing or something like? There's just a lot of questions that I have. Like
hmm
why isn't he doing much of anything? Where's the rest of his crew? Because let's be real, he has other crewmates, but the main one we know is just Killer. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Law's broken.
No, he is.
Law is broken.
He's cool,
Like he
but he's
literally
broken.
he copied like when he cut off all the sound, I was like, he used his devil fruit power to copy another devil fruit power. This shit's broken. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Law's broke, which is not a critique. Which is not a critique
No.
because
No.
this is it's his awakening.
hmm
Which even he said I can't do this for very long, which balances it out.
Yeah. At least puts a power
Balances it
cap
out.
on that.
So I like that. I wish Kid did more.
hmm
Um, the other aspect that I thought was annoying because this is going back to when you said pacing. How many times did Luffy have to lose
Lose.
in
Yeah.
all reality?
Oh my god. Like I was just like, bro, just give him a W, just one W. They finally
like,
did, but it took a long time to get there.
okay, because all right, like I'll be honest. Luffy losing to Kaido the first round when he got berserk over
hmm
thinking that Kaido killed off his
Kaido,
crew.
yeah,
That made sense. That needed to
obvious,
happen.
yeah, yeah.
Because people kept arguing like, oh, but he had future sight. How did he lose that easily? And yada yada yada. Well, people who don't pay attention to the series, it's been stated in the Katakuri versus Luffy fight that in order to use future sight, you need to be calm.
hmm
Luffy was anything but calm in that situation.
hmm
That's why he got bopped and why it didn't kick in.
Yeah,
But people don't pay attention to this.
yeah.
So that his first L totally justified.
hmm
Needed to happen. The second L though, the second and third L was just stupid. Like the third L, okay, fine. I'll let it slide only because it was thematic, because it was mirroring it, because it happened with Oda, or not Oda, it happened with Oden,
hmm
and now it happened with Luffy. So someone came and interrupted the battle. Okay, fine. I'll let that one slide. But the second one, when he literally was like, "Hey, yo, Law, take Zoro and go down there. I'll take care of him myself."
Hmm.
Really? You didn't need to have him lose again. I felt like that they were trying
Yeah,
to drag it out
that
at that
that
point.
that part really bugged me, which is why I was like, let's wait, because like obviously this was a long run and you forget things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I forgot about the whole Sanji thing and shit, and like you gotta give it some breathing room. Like I get the hype,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Like you blinded to it, but then like when you take a step back, you gotta be like, although
Yeah,
I
that
will
was too.
say, you know, One Piece as a whole, because we've been going on for 2 hours now. I think we should put a cap on this.
Yeah, we should.
But otherwise, we'll just talk all day. Which, we should do another tier list of maybe like, you know, favorite Straw Hat characters. I mean, there's so many other One Piece topics to go on about, and I know you've
Mm-hmm.
been itching to talk about One Piece. So,
Yes.
and so have I, because I'm literally the only friend. You're literally the only friend that's caught up with me, and I have to wait for fucking Markeith because I've been dogging his ass to start it. Um,
They'll see the light eventually. All you
yeah,
have to do is wait. I
but
waited with you and you saw the light.
yep, yep. But you know, I don't know if I addressed this in the beginning, but officially, as of this recording, Oda has taken a month off to create the final saga. Now, we don't necessarily know if that means, it'll be done within a year or two, or if it'll be done in 2026. Like saga,
I'm
that
I'm
means a
I'm
whole
legit
saga.
getting goosebumps because
Dragon's
I've been
gotta come into
following
it
this.
somehow. Dragon's gotta be in there somehow. Like I don't like that to me has been the lingering plot point that I've been most excited about is Luffy's dad kind of
Mm-hmm.
coming into the mix and like to see how powerful he is. Ed Shanks, because Shanks has been kind of like he's been kind of treated like a Jaws type figure. You know what I mean? Where he's
Mm-hmm.
lurking always, and like he's the most powerful thing, but like he hasn't really like besides stopping
Plus,
obviously Marineford, we haven't really seen him in action.
there's some mystery surrounding him because he met with the Gorosei to
Hmm.
talk about a specific pirate. Who the hell is that pirate? And how were you able to meet up with the Gorosei just like that?
Yeah.
And number two, he stole the devil fruit, Luffy's devil fruit, but did he know what it really was?
Right. Yeah.
And there's a theory which I don't buy this theory, but I guess the thing where people think that he stole the fruit to actually give it to Ace, which I don't buy at all, but
Yeah.
there's like a lot of questions that
Hmm.
need to be
Well,
answered.
you know, I just can't wait for that final chapter. When they find the One Piece, and then it's just a tiny little sticky note, and it says the friends you made along the way. I just can't wait.
I mean, Oda confirmed that that's not the ending to One Piece. He admitted that the One Piece is actual treasure. Like he's admitted this multiple times in SBSs and a lot of commentary. One Piece is supposed to be an actual treasure, which makes me
Hopefully,
wonder
fingers
all the
crossed.
more what it is because of the whole Odin flashback.
Mhm.
Like I just know the ending of the series is coming.
Well, Golden
When I
Roger
come,
laughed when he heard what the
hmm
One Piece was, so now I'm very curious to see
like
if it's an actual thing, an idea, an entity. Like, what the fuck is it?
I mean, there's a popular theory where it's actually the power to kind of destroy the borders per
Oh,
se. So
oh,
there
that's
it's
interesting.
again. These are all speculative.
Yeah,
Like, but to just kind of because I'm kind of getting hungry right now.
yeah,
To
right,
put
right.
a cap on this is that the ending of the series it's coming. It may not happen for a while. Like we may have a good couple of years left,
Hmm.
but it's coming.
We're close,
And
ish.
and I know when the end to this long journey comes, I'm probably gonna cry my eyes out because I've
Oh,
been following
absolutely.
this since I was a kid,
Hmm.
and I am literally like I'm a young adult. I'm in my late 20s now, and to see that it's finally coming to an end, it really feels like the end of a journey. Like it feels like kind of a sense like you're leveling up to an adulthood now. Now
Yep.
that like it's coming to an end or something like that. That's the feeling I'm
Hmm.
getting right now.
Well, One Piece is the story you never want to end, which is why it's so long and everyone loves it so much. But the fact that now
Hmm
we're hearing that we're actually getting an ending, like now kind of getting real.
Yeah, it is, and the reality it's starting to set in. It's I'm not ready, but
Yeah,
it's
but
coming.
it's coming. It's coming. Anyways, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to check out the Gentleman Snark, part of the NerdEnt crew. You can follow him over by his Twitch, if you want to plug that in.
Twitch.tv/NerdEnt. Haven't streamed in a bit, but we will probably be coming back with random games. We've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, so I mean, if you like that, forward to that.
Nice. And I am Sister Sheep. I have two channels in addition to this one. So three in total. One I haven't started up yet called Jack Reads Books. That's where I'm going to do my manga and my book review stuff. I'm going to keep that separate. I'm going to keep this channel mostly uh, just anime and analog horror reactions and stuff like that, and tier lists. And then I have the Black Hudson channel, which is me and Markeith, where we make movies and stuff like that, sketches, podcasts, all the fun and jazz. I'm surprised I wrapped that up pretty quickly. Usually it takes me a half an hour. Holy shit! But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm more than willing to have Leon back on for a One Piece discussion slash tier list, because this was more civil than I thought it was going to be. Surprisingly, I thought we were really going to come to blows with Skypiea, but we were fairly civil, I will say.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I had to go back and reread Skypiea like a few years
Hmm.
ago because I vaguely remembered it.
Yeah, maybe I
But
will.
yeah, I get the critique of it. Trust me.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Letters.